misunderstood, not a threat to the neighborhood. At ease, I feel out of place, and there's nowhere else to be today. Fear, anger, love, I can't leave, and we got another trick up our sleeve. Yeah, hanging out, you and me are partners in crime. Since you've been here, hanging out, you and me are Bonnie and Clyde. Staring at the ceiling, my view could easily be misconstrued. I'm sorry if you misunderstood, not a threat to the neighborhood. Hanging out, you and me are partners in crime. Since you've been here, hanging out, you and me are Bonnie and Clyde. Hanging out, you and me are partners in crime. Since you've been here, hanging out, you and me are Bonnie and Clyde. Hanging out. Hanging out, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello everyone. Hello and welcome to another video. Amazil has not joined the VC yet, in fact. Oh, nope, he's online. Uh, wow. Well, you know what? I'm excited and I'm looking forward to I have not actually read this document. I really haven't gone into it. Uh, so this will be new. I'm first reactions to it. But I have been a busy bee this morning. I mean, I had to go to the grocery store. I still got to record the audio for my 3-year anniversary video. Uh, you know what? Let's get some funky music playing in the background. How about that? Get some chill beats. Chill vaporwave. Yeah. We're gonna need it. There we go. So I also am going to be doing, so since the Silver Shore dub is going to be pushed back, it's actually given me an opportunity to do something with it that I didn't think I was going to be able to do, but I will be able to do it now, which is to do like a stereo 3D conversion. So that'll be exciting. The 3D program, the 2D to 3D program, AI conversion program I use is getting better. And so I've been able to actually make some pretty good results. Draw up some pretty good results. I know if you guys have a pair of Anaglyph 3D glasses, we're gonna do this until Amazil arrives. But if you guys have a pair of 3D glasses, then you can break them out now. Let's see. The window capture. Do I have one for movie studio? I don't. Oh, well. actually. Wow, that I completely botched that, huh? Null. There we go. This is what we're gonna be looking at. Where's my webcam corner? That's the full one. There we go. Oh, what did I just do? Right, there we go. Wow, I'm still underneath the thing. There we go. So this is what I've been working on. Basically I put the items. Actually, you know what? I can do like from a ground up kind of showing you guys what the entire process of this is. Let's see. Gonna make all the falls amusing. Yeah. So let's just do from the ground up, right? Let me pick one random one. Let's do arrival. So this is essentially what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to go through every single shot and screenshot it through the editing program, put it through the 3D AI gabagool, the 2D to 3D converter. And let me actually change window. A bit better so you can see what I'm doing. If it ever loads up, it's a very high quality video file. That's why it takes so long. But this, I've gotten some really promising results, and that's the reason why I'm considering doing it. So let's see, let's just grab a random panel. Not that one. This one might be a little wonky. You know what, let's do this one. The whoa! So let's see, is this best? Properties, okay. Save snapshot to file. Save it to file. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. That's what I'm doing. Owl 3D. And let me actually make a source for this one. Oh no, what are you doing? Window capture owl 3D. There we go. Clear all. And we just take our funny little image, our little screenshot, if I can find it, put it in here. And I have a few different things that I can do. I can like move that down. This stuff doesn't work the best. I can still manipulate some things manually, like once I get it rendered out, but it's not. They're still working on it. It's still getting better all the time. Oh boy. And so what this does is it basically takes the tedium out of having to, wow, my computer's struggling right now. It takes the tedium out of having to actually, you know, manually go in and cut everything out and convert it and do the depth mapping. That's not the fun part of doing 3D. That's the lame, boring, non-creative side of it. Okay, so we're gonna come back here. And so we have a few things to look at. I'm gonna show you guys these things. So this is the original image right here. Let me actually see if I can make this a little bit better for you guys. There we go, and then we can tell it to transform fit to screen. So this is the original flat image. This is the depth map that it created. So these, the things that are lighter are going to be closer to the audience. Things that are darker are going to be farther away. This is the anaglyph image. I haven't taken a look at it yet. We're going to do that now. Ooh, wait. Alright, so it's a bit intense. Let me actually pull it up here. There we go. Yeah, this looks a little bit better. Is it because it's being like double? Yeah. So the issue here is that all the characters are kind of coming out of the screen. Let me actually make this look a little bit better real quick. Now, actually, I might want to keep it this way. Actually, I do like this. You know what? It's going to stay like this. This wasn't a good one to pick out. But you have your left image, you have your... Oh, no, this is the left one. This is the right one. And what I can do is combine them into one. I need to come here to properties. Properties. Ooh. I know you guys can't see it, but yeah, there you go. And I have a thing that will allow me, let me go ahead and transform. How do I restore? I feel like I knew how to do this before, but let me just pull up another. Actually, you know what? No, we're not going to do that. And there we go. And so what I can do with an add-on, not an add-on, but like a video effects modifier is I can change the depth, or like where the things start coming out of the screen basically. So I can push everyone back behind the screen, or I can pull them out further. But I think for all intents and purposes, I think this is, there we go. I think this is good. I might actually push it back a little bit more. Yeah, let's see. Let's put it at 75. There we go. So you get all the characters. Wow, look at it. I wish you guys had a pair of 3D glasses because it looks really good. And so basically what I'm going to have to do is go through the entire comic, the entire dub, and take every screenshot of everything and convert it, which is what I've done here for the rest of this stuff. Like, well, this is not part of the dub, but it is converted. This chill vibes music is not as chill vibes as I was hoping it might be. We can just fall back on Chill Zelda. Chill Zelda Lo-Fi. Where is it? I don't see it. Is it this? There we go. So yeah, it looks good. You're just gonna have to take my word for it if you can't see it. Uh-oh, let me pull. I have a lot of things open on my computer right now. Wow, you can't even see it because I closed it. There we go. But so far I've done this. These are just a few tests that I did. And they look pretty sharp. And by the way, this will be viewable in VR. And it will be viewable in side-by-side 3D for like 3D displays or whatever. If you have one of those, probably not. But if you have a VR headset of any kind, whether it be for your phone or just like an Oculus Rift, Oculus Quest or whatever, you're going to be able to watch this in 3D. You're going to have to take my word. Some of it's not going to work out the best because Lucy's supposed to be far into the background and she's not here. I might have to sit down and cut characters out and then render them on a separate thing so I can push them back, but we'll see. Got this one. This one looks really good. This one came out really good. This one's pretty good. This one's really good. So yeah, it's very promising, and fortunately the text bubbles don't really get in the way of anything. It kind of knows to keep that away. So yeah, good stuff. I really like the way this came out. It looks so good. Oh, I'm such a nerd. I'm such a nerd, but I mean it's true, right? Like, where's the lie? I don't know where Amazil is. I don't know where Amazing Zill is. He went do not disturb and then he went offline again. I think he just woke up. Uh, so I mean, what else is there to talk about? Like, where is the music at right now? Well, our music guy kind of got some of his mojo back. We had like one or two people that were kind of interested in doing some music, but we really haven't had too many offers, unfortunately. But we're still, you know, keeping our ear to the ground, trying to get field people. As of right now, the actual release date is to be determined, but like I said, that gives me enough time to be able to sit down and make a stereo 3D version of the dub, which I think is very exciting. And even going back and making 3D versions of the other dubs that we did. So like doing a 3D version of Confrontation, doing a 3D version of the Fintervention dub. What do you think of the new chapters so far? I think it's pretty good. We can take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. Here, we'll close this out. We'll save it. Close it out. I actually haven't looked at these images side by side yet. I'm gonna do that real quick while I pull the thing up. So the new chapter, well, it says intermission. It's going to be a new chapter at some point. Let me look at this though. Let me side by side it. Save it to. Oh wait, is this? And then we need best preview quality. Okay. All right. Halloween hugs. No, I pressed the wrong button. I misclicked. Halloween hugs. Side by side. I kind of want to go back and look at the other versions of Owl 3D and see how it's improved. Like, I know it has. I feel like even if it's a little bit, it has improved. We are going to take a look at the new chapter, and I'll talk about it a little bit more in just a moment. Just humor me for just 1 second so I can look at this on my 3D television. This is pretty good. It's getting there. I can't wait to see how much better it gets. Like, it's already pretty good now. It looks a lot better on the smaller image instead of on my TV, but I mean, like, it looks good on the TV, but like you kind of see a little bit more of the errors in it. But like with all AI, it's kind of like if you step back and you squint your eyes, you can kind of pass it off as normal. Okay. Don't save this. Let's talk about the new chapter. Yes, I want to quit. Why does it say, do you want to quit? Like, yeah, of course I want to quit. I asked it to. Let me close down all my 8 million things that I have open. So, behind closed doors hasn't been bad. I really haven't thought about it all that much. I mean, like, as soon as they were like, Sue's gonna be in it, you know, I was like, yo, this is already perfect. Like, how could anyone deny? I guess it's fine. It's interesting. We're actually seeing the characters interact outside of the, and I know it's going to kind of be relationship drama once like we get into the swing of things, but seeing the characters just have fun and there's no relationship drama and it is like they're just hanging out having a good time. This is what volume 1 was, right? Kind of. It still had the relationship stuff there, but this feels like the closest we've had to volume 1 in a very long time. And just seeing all these characters and doing something new and talking about their guild, their MMO. I'm looking forward to this chapter. Like I said back with Date Night, it definitely feels like a chapter that Teshi just didn't have enough time to fully flesh out in like a proper way. And she was just like, let's do this. Fuck it. Yeah, it doesn't have to make sense. Just do it. So it's good to see that New Year's resolution and seeing stars, and now this one has been it's been pretty good for me personally. That she actually has time to sit down and like go through it. Uh, they're also, like I said, they're just been busy with the omnibus too. Now it's kind of strange for me to me that they would be working on a second like Kickstarter when they just wrapped up one of them. And I honestly think they should hold off on an Omnibus 2 Kickstarter until next year because everyone's already spent all their money on this one book, right? Like, why would you then turn around and be like, okay, now give us more money for another book? I think it just, in general, it might be better if they just hold off on that. But, I mean, it's their business. They can run it however they want. Look at this. I freaking love this here. Hey, check this out. Check this out. I made a thing. I made a funny meme. Let's see. Oh, geez, where is it? Archival. It's a comic edit. Where is it? I've been this is something that I haven't for disappointment. I haven't really talked about, but I want to start on this sort of yeah, this is what I did. Sega does what Nintendo don't, Mike. Get with the times. The Super Nintendo doesn't even have blast processing. Doesn't even have Sonic the Hedgehog. What is it? What is the Super Nintendo got? Hmm? Donkey Kong Country? More like Baby Kong for babies. That's a baby game. Not like Sonic. Sonic's for cool kids. So yeah, I although I will have to say it pained me to make Sue a Genesis fan, but like the joke works too well. It's too obvious a joke. Still no Patreon comic, which Patreon preview comment. But apparently some stuff has been going on behind the scenes. I don't really know what all is going on. According to sources, Suitcase has not been heard from for like 5 days. Just was like he just said they were getting busy and then he just disappeared. If Suitcase has disappeared, maybe I should pay the official BCB Discord a little visit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. I'm a loose cannon. Where is Amazon? Where is Amazon? Wait, let's see. 3D not gonna mess with all the transitions and appearing text bubbles? No, it won't. I miss characters just hanging out together and not just me. That's why we got them Stacy redraws of Link play. Yeah. No, I think a lot of people, he's not even on. Yeah, I know he's not online. He was online for a little bit. Um, or, what's up? Like me and Amazil kind of we talked about this yesterday. I was like, hey, is 10 a.m. good for you? Like it's 1 p.m. for me, but 10 a.m. for him. I was like, is that good for you? He's like, yeah, it should be fine. I was like, we can push it back if it's too early. Like, you know, I get it. 10 a.m. you just wake up. Like, what do you? The last thing you want to do is jump on a live stream and talk about some cat comic. Uh, look how big Daisy is. Like, what's her line of sight, right? Like, she's kind of like she's not really looking over here. I don't really know where she's supposed to be looking. I forgot why Abbey beat up Paulo. Well, let's go. Let's take a look then. So Abbey, Abbey beating up Paulo. He kind of used Daisy as an excuse to lash out at Paulo. Let's see. We'll look at this. We'll look at this. Actually, there. Nope. There we go. So this was not the one I wanted. Oh my gosh, I'm going nuts. Okay, here we go. So Daisy is all seeing, yeah. She has like like fisheye vision. She can see all around her. So he chokes him. He says he assumes that Paulo's trying to like use Daisy and get in her pants. Obviously, you know what the irony about this is? Paulo has not taken advantage of any girl. And like Abbey doesn't really realize that because he just sees like this flirtatious lover boy, not like a lover boy, but like this kind of Johnny Bravo womanizer type guy. Even though Paulo is the one that's been taken advantage of. Like think about this. Why did Rachel and Jess give him a chance? Why did they go out with him? It's because they wanted to get revenge on Tess. Paulo was used for revenge sex. So he was taken advantage of in that situation. Did he take advantage of Jasmine? I wouldn't say so. Did he take advantage of Lucy? Well, we know what the answer to that is. The answer is no. Like he pushed her away when she was trying to get all up on him. Hold up. Let's see. Because Daisy went with him to the con and got too cozy as usual, which is ironic as it's Daisy who wants to get in Paulo's pants. Yeah. Well, they both want to get in each other's pants, right? That's just kind of the way of it. So he choked him because he thinks that Paulo's just trying to get in Daisy's pants. And so but like the whole point of this, right? Just from my interpretation, is that he hates Paulo, right? And he just wanted an excuse to like, you know, bully him back. And so basically let's take a look. Here we go. Now, I don't really agree with using flashbacks all the time to like fill out your story because, you know, it's not the best way to do writing. I'm not gonna like be like, oh, it's lazy, because obviously just telling people this happened and not showing them would be the lazy thing. But you gotta think a little bit forward ahead, right? Like we have seen Paulo kind of do stuff to Abbey over time, but the way that Paulo acts here is like just kind of so over the top mean. Like he never has acted like this towards anyone, right? It would be nice to kind of see this happen in the comic rather than like a flashback where it kind of feels like Teshi is trying to stretch the fact like to justify this happening. I think that's why a lot of people hate like this whole thing because I don't know, it doesn't when it's all flashbacks, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel justified. But this is the Anger Goblin arc. This is when Abbey just becomes an asshole for no reason. Right? Look at that. Mace was a stupid dress. I deserved it. Yeah. And by the way, Daisy, yeah, I felt forced. Yeah, and you know, and by the way, Young, like Volume 1, 2, and 3 Paulo would have probably just kicked Abbey's ass. Right? Unless it's barking. Like, I need you to, like, let's take a look here, right? Take a look at this. I'm not going to bring up Paulo Xu for everyone's sake, but, like, look at this here. He immediately goes on the offensive. This Paulo would not have put up with this. This Paulo would have gotten up and kicked his ass. He would have been like, okay, you punk ass nerd. Like, he would have gone after him, you know? I guess it kind of came out of nowhere, which is why it was like, oh, you know, completely caught off guard. It just kind of, especially because later, Paulo does fight back against Abbey by beaming a fucking basketball at his head. Which, by the way, would have hurt like hell. Like, Abbey would have been out. Like, let's take a look at it. Let me bring it up. I keep saying that. Let's take a look. Hey, Jamie, can you pull up Paulo beaming Abbey in the back of the head with a basketball? It's very important. Here it is. So he kind of said, they kind of have that same argument, right? Oh no, it's a volleyball, sorry. By the way, he would have been out. having someone beam a ball at the back of your head at full force like that, he would have been out like a light. I guess technically he could have just been fine, but ain't no way he's standing up after that. Ain't no way that's happening. Dude would have been out. And I know this because this shit happened to me. I didn't get hit by a ball, I got hit by a roll of duct tape, but like still the same principle. He would have been done. And by the way, this was a lot closer a range that, like, he's standing like right behind him. There would have been no loss of momentum there. Why is it not a dodgeball? Well, they were playing volleyball, I think. Look at that, see, in the background, you can kind of see that they're... Why won't this page load? Load. Indoors? Yeah, I mean, you can play volleyball indoors. There's indoor volley. I think they're just kind of practicing right now, like, you know, hitting the ball back and forth. See that? Like, because, like, you know, you do that motion. Also, on a list of things that I think Teshi is like an expert in, I don't think sports is one of them. Suitcase, though, I hear Suitcase is an expert in sports, and he would absolutely know. I hear Suitcase knows all about sports. The Abbey literally says later that Paulo's ball throws are weak as heck. Confirm that Paulo's weak as heck. I mean, yeah, but Abby's not gonna admit, dude. Like, of course Abby's gonna play it off like, ah, well, you know, he ain't shit. Like, come on. Anyway, this whole chapter's kind of a... That hand looks kind of weird. A little bit. Also, he's got really long, spindly fingers, dude. But anyway... they basically pull a Batman v Superman, and it's like they start bonding over their mommies. And also Paulo cries for the 8 millionth time. IMO Abby sucked from the get-go. I can understand why people would not like his character, considering he is kind of that white knight nerdish. Here, let's take a look. He's kind of that, you know, prim and proper, well-mannered white knight, fedora-tipping Redditor type guy. I think that's fine. I think it's actually a really good contrast to everyone else in the comic that really doesn't try to follow this sort of code of conduct. Like, he has his own, like, honor system, and he tries to follow that. I think old Abbey, he has his own charm. It's very endearing. But I can understand at the time why it would be annoying. Keep in mind, right? I think Abby's life would have been infinitely better if he never got involved with the main four. I honestly think Abby's life would have, like, he would have been a much happier, better, more well-rounded person if he just never got involved. They would never be friends realistically. Yeah, I mean, like, but you gotta wrap that arc up somehow, right? Like, they at least need to be amicable. I think, is that the right word? They at least need to be somewhat on the same page. And I actually really, and I talked about this in the video I made on it, but my favorite part of New Year's resolution was that, you know, little bit between Abby and Paulo. Like, we finally got something wrapped up. A fucking story arc, a story thread that has been dragged out since like 2007 finally got wrapped up in a nice little bow. And it's nice. Like, they're still not like, you know, gullies, and they're not like super best friends, but it's something, right? And I think it shows a lot of growth on Abby's part to be this way. Like, is it like this is such a nice moment. This is one of my favorite moments in modern BCB. Unironically. Also, this is hilarious. Like, everyone's wearing clothes in this scene except him. He looks like he's just letting it all hang out right now. And Molly's like, yo, I don't want nothing to do with that. Like, this guy, like, what do you mean come say Happy New Year to the park streaker? Look, it's same thing here. Also, I feel like they kind of changed size a little. Look how big his head is. Usually I don't like jump on the, oh, the heads are too big bandwagon, but like this one's a little bit too big, right? It looks like this thing would snap off his body. Look at him, he's got muscles. Don't flirt with my sister. See, it's so good. The number of Molly memes and Molly art that came out of these few pages was great, for the most part. Some of it was not. Some of it was kind of sus. Let's be honest. Without Abbey, Daisy and the rest like would not end up like the B side where Abbey didn't prevent Gus's attempt to score her at her lowest. Wait, without Daisy and the rest. Are you talking about mistakes will happen or accidents will happen? Because Abbey didn't know that they were doing that. Like, obviously he would have attempted to stop them. Are you saying that, like, like Daisy and Augustus, like, we would have gotten the teen pregnancy arc in canon BCB with Augustus and Daisy? I have no idea where Amazil is. This dude's killing me. I sent him a message about like a little bit over 10 minutes ago. He hasn't responded. Uh Very image heavy doc. By the way, good on I'm surprised that AgentChimendez did not get banned for doing this, by the way. Like, holy shit. How come when I make a review saying the comic is good, I get banned, but when AgentChimendez makes a 171 page document saying that this character sucks and the writing sucks, there, oh, what's this? Oh, I'm at 11. Hold. Oh shoot, I thought you meant 11. This. I said 10 a.m. Like, that's alright. I think Amazil's coming, guys. No, that Augustus just plans with smoothly, and then it's given the other four don't care about on. Oh. Oh, so you're saying Augustus would have kept Daisy to, like, protected Daisy, but handed off the others to Alejandro? I think, I think at that, I think Daisy could have convinced them not to do it. I think Augustus legitimately cared about Daisy, and I talk about this in my All About Augustus video, which you guys haven't seen yet. But I think if Daisy requested it, he wouldn't have done it. Probably as the BCR didn't went too smoothly for her and the rest. What BCR are you talking about? Are you talking about mistake? Like, I don't. Guys, should I join the official BCB Discord live on stream? Oh wow, a lot of people. We're gonna be starting with this the character assassination very soon, guys. Amazil's on his way. Oh wait, no, that's not the one I wanted to get to. I wanted to go here, see if there was an update. Nope. What? Why would Jasmine be disguised as Juno? What did she? For those of you who have never seen Juno, it was like this movie that came out in the late 2000s about a teen pregnancy. It was really popular when it came out. I'm just kind of surprised Jasmine would be Juno. Like you think that with their Christian upbringing, she wouldn't do that. Uh, it's another chance, you dork, where Augustus backed away and started talking that he just wanted to show Daisy that she's desired, not actually just take advantage of her. All right, well, let me pull that up. I'm gonna go into my magical bag of BCIs that I'm not going to share with anybody and pull it up. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Another chance. All right. Let's take a look, guys. I'm not spreading paid content. This is for commentary and review, which is legally protected. Is legally protected under copyright law. It's not working. Why isn't it working? Am I just gonna have to share my whole entire screen? That's dangerous. Let's see. One other chance. Whoa. Go. Alright. We'll get rid of this. Get rid of this. I don't think we need this. Sure, why not? Let's have a Lucy dance. There we go. Let's see, let's do this. Alright. That's what I mean. Can you push it back until 11? So give me 20 minutes. So Amazil is gonna be here in a couple of minutes. Anyway, let's take a look at this. What was that one book slash movie that was a teen romance, but one of them had cancer? You talking about The Fault in Our Stars? He was still friends with a probable rapist? Yeah, but like the idea is that Daisy would pull him away from that kind of thing, right? Let's see. Wow, this text is all over the place. Let's see. Plot. Why plotted it? We're being clever. Oh, look at him. He's playing with toy cars. This is in McDonald's. Interesting. Have I really sat down to read this? Stop playing games, just reading your void to me. I'd be stupid to bring the girl I love down with me. Doesn't always have to go your way. Oh wait, Are they gonna be together now? Oh, maybe not. You know the past. This is not canon. Okay. I guess that's that then. Nope, that's not. Augustus is so unlikable. Like old Augustus or modern Augustus? Because modern Augustus is great. He's like one of the best. I think, unironically, straight up, full stop, Augustus has had the best, most positive character arc out of anyone in this comic. He is the best character. Okay, now there's a difference between best character and favorite character. I just think as far as positive change is gone, Augustus is at the top. Both? What do you not like about modern Augustus? What's your beef? Here, we'll pull him up in this one. He suspected Lucy of being suicidal and didn't act on it until she attempted. He did. Well, alright, so first of all, what do you mean by he suspected? Are you talking about what happened in 10 Seconds to Midnight? What was it? Yeah, here it is. Are you talking about this? Like, he's acting on it right now. Like, what do you think this is? Or are you referring to, this? Hold up. Alright, she jumps off the edge because no reason at all. And he's like, you know, you're doing me a favor. Are you saying that, like, he kept hanging out there because he was waiting for her to jump? Yeah, but he didn't tell anyone about the situation until it was at its worst. Yeah, but Lucy, who's he gonna tell? He doesn't really know where Lucy lives. He can't talk to any of her friends because they hate him. They think Augustus is a creep. So who's he gonna tell? But I mean, he called her bluff, right? Like he was like, you're not actually going to do it. Like he thought she was going to, but she starts being all tsundere. And then he's like, you know what, fuck you then. The school? Well, what's the school gonna do? Like, why would the school listen to this random guy? And obviously Lucy would deny it if he said anything. Right? I mean, there's not much the school can do. He obviously did the right thing in the end, right? With his little flip phone. Let's see. Nah, in that BCI, Daisy and Gus are gonna stay friends as they were before this been. It's gonna squeeze, and she's gonna squeeze info out about it. Just probably would end up being helping the same way Lucy did 2 years later. And you should read that BCI. Probably it's a fun one. Yeah, I mean, I probably did when I first subscribed to the BCI, and then I got banned like 2 weeks later. It sucked. Notify her parents that something might be up. I mean, yeah, but like, here's the thing. Her parents knew something was up, and you want to know what their solution was? Send her away. Which is what caused this to happen. So, like, what are they supposed to do? Like, obviously they made the wrong choice, but they would have just acted in the same way. Just take the problem and move it somewhere else. Yeah, that's literally what they did. What chapter was it when they decided to do that, by the way? Is it this one? No. I can't look at that. He gets an entire fucking cake, right? Like everyone's crying. Oh, let me just buy my kid a cake. That'll make it better. I do kind of feel bad for David at this moment, though. One of the very few times that I am sympathetic towards his dog. Yeah, our parents made it worse. Yeah, exactly. Lucy has good parents. Mine would be like, oh, it was just our dumb son, not our academically successful daughter. Oh my gosh, look, listen. I don't want to get into like anyone's personal stuff. I don't remember what chapter it was when she found out they were gonna send her away, though. Wait, no, it was definitely before that. Was it this one? Was it this one? I don't think it was this one. This would be a cool panel to convert page to see in 3D. What's the page where they were like... I don't know where the page is. Is it? No, it's not this one. By the way, I actually have this page IRL. This is the page. Here, look at this. There it is. It's right there. I have it. Oh, here it is. This is when they're gonna send her away. Like, they obviously suspect... Why is Lucy's mom just wearing a robe? Dude, that's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? She. I assume my dad would care. I can't see my mom doing so. Yes, sorry, it's the moment of dark humor, but it bugs me that Lucy's mom never finds out what bothered Lucy. She just knows it's something to do with Mike, but not enough that he instigated her decision. I mean, Lucy was depressed because Mike screamed at her. Okay, yeah, but Lucy killed herself because she was having to move away. Her mom also feels blame on herself. Yeah, because she didn't put her through therapy, which is what most parents would do. Look at this. Like, people blame Mike for this, but it's like, okay, yeah, Mike was the catalyst, but he wanted to make things right. Right when I have to transfer, he wants to talk about it with me. Why did this happen? Why did I have to leave? Why did I have to let them do that? You could literally... This is the thing I don't understand. Like, I get... Why can't she just talk to Mike over the internet? Like, I know it's different talking to someone in person versus over the internet, but she was only gone for like 3 months. Or 9 months. She wasn't gone forever. But she doesn't care, I guess. She's a parasite because of what Mike said. I don't know. By the way, by the by, she would have been toast. You don't lose this much blood and be conscious, let alone be able to speak, let alone be able to move. She would be dead. Like, there ain't no way you're surviving that. Lucy is severely autistic? Probably. Lucy has more PTSD from almost rape than when she almost died and Mike almost drowned. Well, those are two very different things, right? You have to remember, Alejandro completely overpowered all of her friends and almost killed Mike. Like, he was literally talking about crushing Mike's skull when she stepped in, right? And by the way, she's still deathly afraid of water. Like, what part of, like, she almost passes out every time she gets near water? What about that does not sound like PTSD to you? Like, she can't go near water without almost fainting. Like, obviously that's still an issue. Not to mention a cat jumping off a roof. she would be able to move as long as she did, which was around a few minutes, and survived. And ask how you know. Yeah, but I think Veronica incorporated feline anatomy partially. Cats are smaller, more durable to damage. I don't remember that. Here, let's pull it up then. So, the chapter we get, it's Troubled Waters, is the flashback chapter. Here, we'll pull that up. We'll pull this up. We'll pull Troubled Waters. I think it's Carry On as well. So here in the very first chapter of the webcomic Bittersweet Candy Bowl, you see right here, it's a little bit of a hint that she doesn't like water, right? She's scared. And then we go to Gone Fishing. She's worried the entire time. Her foot turns into a noodle. She's scared. Mike reassures her that he's gonna be there for her. Troubled Waters, this is the one. So she literally has to sit out of swimming class because she will pass out. Look at this. See this right here. Look at that. This is literally what that PTSD is. People survive way higher falls. It's technically possible that, okay. It is, have been freak miracles where people have survived really long falls that they should not have survived. But once you get past 3 stories of a building, things get lethal very fast. And I guess it's technically true she could have survived, but losing that much blood, that's like half of her blood gone. She would at least be unconscious. And I think not giving Lucy a permanent scar was a huge missed opportunity. I think that would have gone a long way in making her more sympathetic when she came back. And by the way, Teshi still could have made it like a big surprise reveal, because if you remember, when Lucy came back, she's wearing her school uniform. Look at that. See, she could have still hit that scar, and then we could have eventually seen that. Or given Lucy a fear of heights, you know? Do something, literally anything with it. Moments apart, is this the one? No, it's this one. Have Lucy get like scared on the Ferris wheel. Have her be like not wanting to get up that high because, you know, she jumped. But instead she's like, whoa, being up high is fun. There was no physical therapy chapter. This is what I think. I think instead of writing a chapter where Teshi already admits that everyone already understands why Paulo is upset with Daisy and is avoiding her, instead of doing this, Teshi should make a chapter or make a series of chapters of what life was like for Lucy when she moved away. Make it a BCI even. Maybe that's the 90-page BCI she was talking about on her stuff. But I don't think we really need behind closed doors. I'm fine getting more content, but I don't think it's entirely necessary, and Teshi has already admitted that it really isn't entirely necessary, but she wants to write it anyway. And I'll say this, I'd rather have unnecessary chapters that she's inspired to write than a bunch of necessary chapters that she's uninspired by. I'll say that at least. Spin-off potential? Yeah. Teshi is 50-50 on certain details, and this is one where she didn't go for major ones. I definitely think a series of chapters about Lucy hanging out with her aunt would be, like, really cool. Someone added me. The one BCI with Gus jumping implies that Lucy didn't trust not fucking up things with Mike or with anyone. I'll just ruin it all again. Yeah. And thinking she will fuck up any attempts at new connections at a new place just spiraled in the end. Yeah, that makes more sense. Sometimes I have to read something a few times before I fully, like, especially with this comic. Aunt Gemma? By the way, did Daisy become friends with Augustus in that comic after he molested her? Well, it didn't go that far, right? Like, it didn't... Like, Augustus never actually really did anything to her in the BCI. Aunt May, yeah. Holy jeez, my voice box is gonna be like spent. And I still want to record that video today. No weekly roundup this week. Forced kissing not in the canon. Where's Amazil? Amazil, please. You know what? Amazil was like, oh, just wait another hour. I'm like, bro, we already live. Daisy tries to see the best in Augustus in the BCI in the main timeline. Yeah. I honestly think Augustus and Daisy should have a fling. Let's be real. What is this? Oh, I saw this. Amazil is missing. Dun dun dun. Remember when Mike kissed Lucy? That didn't happen. That's not real. That's fake news. Look at this. Look at this. And you know what? I had to look at it really closely and squint my eyes, but I did kind of see what Teshi was talking about. Here, let's take a look. Actually, and give me one more moment, because I actually do have something I want to show you guys. I think someone got in trouble for posting this, but I'm going to show you guys. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So, let me put this on the screen here. We're going to look at that in just a moment. I'm just getting it ready. So, Mike moves forward, right? He steps forward. See, I think this is the issue, because Teshi made it too obvious that Mike was going forward, and not obvious enough that he stopped, and not obvious enough that Lucy was moving forward, which, by the way, I thought was going to be one of the things that was edited about this chapter, that she would make it more obvious that Lucy moved ahead. So look at this. He stopped, right? She's kind of leaning forward. She's leaning forward ever so slightly. He's clearly stopped. If you just put some motion lines right here, it would fix all the problems with people had with this, right? By the way, Mike might not be like getting with anyone at the end of this, but like, come on, this is. So let's take a look at this edit someone made. I don't know who made this edit, but it's a really good one. So you have look at this. You have her hand up, and she got her hands up, and she's clearly walking forward. This doesn't destroy the integrity of the scene, by the way. It still works. And then at the very bottom, like, she's puts his hand on his cheek, and there you go. Like, that solves all the issues, right? But we can't do that. Like, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I mean, I don't write this comic. If I did write this comic, basically everything after this chapter would have been a lot more fun. Doesn't fix Eternal Flame. Well, Eternal Flame doesn't really need to be fixed. For the overall story, it works. Even if I disagree with her story, it still works. And I think the edits that she made... Where is it? I think these were really good edits. This made things a little bit less terrible. Insert scarf and bow, if I wrote that. Yeah. Lucy only hates Mike because Mike won't simp for her. Mike does simp for her. Are you kidding? All he's done is bro, look at this. Here, take a look at this. Take a look at this. Where is it? Oh god, where is it? It's the one. It's all in the mind. There. Look at him. Look at him simping. Look at this cat. Look at him. Look, simp. He even hides in the bushes. Here. Look, see? Like, how is this not simping? Not full-time? Only one edit page, though? That's not simping. That's just trying to apologize. Dude, come on, man. He is a simp. But he can't be a Lucy simp. He said he can't do it anymore. It hurts Lucy. That's why he's not doing it. Here, guys, check this out. Speaking of this chapter, let me show you something that I cooked up. Uh-oh. Look at this. You guys want to see some gormless AI? Can I make this loop? Let's see, loop. There we go. Look at that. Her mouth is backwards. Her, they, them mouth is backwards. By the way, this was the only one that was somewhat close to being decent. All the other ones I made were really bad. Let's see. This one is so bad. Oh, it's so awful. Hold up. Loop this one. Look at this. What is this? Like, it's kind of normal at first a little bit. For like 1 second. And then it just... What is this? I don't even know if it's like... What happened? What happened? And then look at Sue becomes like... Her entire soul is gone. And then she does a pog face. And then she gets another ball. I swear I had more of them. Oh well. Oh wait, no I do. Here, look at this one. Look at his face! Look at his face! Oh my god! Hold on, let me look at chat. Oh no, that was bad. Yeah. I might upload these as like a compilation video just because it's funny. Like, it's kind of normal, right? Except he grows another arm. I just wanted them walking down the street. Look at his face. What did the AI mean by this? What did it mean by this? Look, he's got a stimpy leg. Look at that. This is horrible. Yo, what the fuck was that shit, dude? I'm getting added. Let's see, my guy just wanted coffee. Why is this line 30 minutes long? Oh my god, Amazil, you're killing me. Alright. Let's see, I have more AI. Oh wait, no, I wanted to see his face at the end of this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sucks. Amazil is in line for coffee, and everyone else is trying to get coffee at the same time he is. Let's see. We got this one. What do you guys think about that? They're walking... Look at this. What do you guys think about this one? Better, but not by much. This AI needs some holy water? Yeah, for sure. polyamory, talk to Lucy and Sandy, be with both, then invite Daisy, James, and Paulo. No. Daisy, James, and Paulo can have their own polycule. But Mike, Sandy, and Lucy, that's the trio. 3 is the magic number, guys. Remember that. Do I have any more AI videos? I don't think I do. We can look at some funny comic edits. What is this one? Oh, right, this one. Okay, so let me... We're gonna take a look at some of these we're gonna still do Amazil stuff, guys. I'm trying to entertain you the best I can. I promise we're still gonna do it. Let me add a screen one. Yeah, it is. Okay. All right, look at this, guys. Look at this edit. This is the realest shit I've ever seen. Okay, so Mike shows up. This is just beautiful, right? He shows up, and then okay, and then this happens, and then no Sandy. No Sandy, all gone. She didn't come on stage. No one knew where she was when I asked. You said you wouldn't even see her until after the show. Maybe something came up. That's true. Why does Haley have a black eye? Look at that, guys. Can you believe this? Not counting Abbey or Augustus. That one could be used Mike and Lucy. Oh right, this one's pretty bad. He's crying strawberry jelly, guys. Don't worry. It's not blood, it's strawberry jelly. It's jelly. I need to make sure that I'm not going to pull up... I have things separated between sus and not sus, so... Oh, yeah. Look at this. This one's a really good irony one. This is basically Mike's speech to Lucy about how everyone would leave her, but they left him. Look at that. That's crazy, dude. Isn't that fucking real? It's like poetry. It rhymes. Look at this. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to get the gender bent ones. The one where it's like Michelle and Luke. I was just venting back then, okay? I didn't mean everything I said. I could not stop thinking about what I said after you left, and I regret it so much. I'm sorry for calling you a parasite, for saying the group doesn't love you, but I wanted you to stop hitting me and be nicer. I'll never forgive myself for how alone I made you feel. If you want, I'll leave the table tomorrow. Wouldn't that be amazing? See, this is Simp Mike. You want to talk about Simp Mike? This is it. This is it. Right here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, real. Can I get some Malo truthers in chat? See, everything okay? Honk. Yeah, it is true, isn't it? Just honk on the horn. Let's see. Oh, right. This is the dialogue, but someone made Daisy look like Lucy. Bad for simping, but good for the character of Mike. Yeah. We saw this one. Oh my god, the fucking turtle. And then she falls. I hope so. Oh my gosh, that's right. He wakes up next to Daisy, dude. This is cream colored joy. This is how it starts. It's how it starts. What is skip heads? Yo, what the fuck is this? Yo, he just he just freaking pulled a Mortal Kombat finish on her, dude. He just threw her head. In the good timeline of real life Mike and Lucy having a loving relationship, yeah. It is, people have said that it is kind of confirmed that Musi is not the end game. I don't want to believe it. I refuse to believe it. But that's how it is. Oh, yep, okay. Some of these are a little bit more sus than I should have allowed in here. We're just gonna skip past those. Let's see. Oh, this is one of the JoJo edits. And your hair won't be the worst thing about your look anymore. The fuck did you just say about my hair? Oh shit. It's more I don't understand. I don't know what JoJo. I've never really watched JoJo a whole lot, so I don't really get it. But I do know this is a JoJo thing. We're gonna just skip past that. That's more JoJo shit. Oh, here it is. Look at this. Come on, Abby. Paul isn't that bad. Just let it go already. She don't understand. The truth is, I let it go already. I don't care about any of this anymore. Jesus, do you think I'm that petty? Pff, you always overreact. Paulo isn't your rival anymore. God damn it, why won't you listen? Nobody ever does. Do it again. What the fuck is this? What is this? What kind of face is this? Did someone try to edit the thing and just didn't like use a eyedropper tool to like get her actual face color? She's doing it again. Looping infinitely dream deafening noise. Yo. Yo. Is Abby Spanish? Did this happen at the moment that Spamtopia had no rules? Oh, that was yeah, look at this. I think that's the edit. That edit that is actually I didn't actually super deep dive into any of these. I didn't realize that one with Mike and Paulo was supposed to be sus. I just thought it was like Mike standing up. Mike Exclusive was the original endgame. In the good timeline of real, yeah. I mean, who knows what anything is anymore. Oh right, this shit. Like she's one to talk. She still hasn't gotten over Mike. You're full of shit, Co. Keep your filthy mouth shut. Mike should have been executed for this. They should have sent Mike to the penis explosion chamber and had his penis exploded immediately. I can't believe he would scream at Sue. I'd have beat his ass. Yo, what the fuck is... Yo, this sucks. Don't worry, it's not blood. It's strawberry jelly. Mike he threw strawberry jelly at her. I can't believe this shit, dude. Oh. Oh my god. David's face. Oh, more JoJo references. Oh, this one, the freaking body slam, dude. Does anyone have last names? No. God, I hate that self-insert cat. Wait, what self-insert cat? You're gonna have to... That's like every cat. Apparently everyone's a Teshi self-insert. Oh, right, they gave Augustus blue eyes for some reason. And a little button nose. I don't know what these edits were supposed to be, actually. What were these edits supposed to be? I did that Tide Pod challenge you suggested. My shit is all sparkly now. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. How the fuck did... Hold up, I need to move some of these to another folder. I should have vetted these more. Let's see. So, according to Teshi, Augustus is not Siamese. He's just kind of a mutt. So that's why these edits were made. Let's see. Is that the one that has the same hair as Teshi? I don't know. Oh, you talking about Madison? Oh, yeah, another shit joke. Oh, wait, what it? Oh, right. This was like, why is this in here also? Oh, gotta move this over too. Give me a second, guys. Oh, right. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna get some ice cream, guys. I am like running out of steam here. Let's see. Comic edits. Here we go. Let me go down this list. Okay, I think these next ones are probably gonna be fine. She freaking crushes his head, dude. She freaking Titan sub disastered his head. Angry little lesbian. Yeah, that's Madison. We stand Madison here, actually. Oh. She's having all the regrets she's said to Mike. All the terrible things that have been said to her. Wow, this is supposed to be funny, Sue. What the fuck? Haha! You know what? Sue's kind of real for that. Laughing at her. So what were you doing? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, this is right. People edited all the characters in. Abby's there. Molly's there. Jasmine. McCain. Paulo. David. Rachel. Daisy's dad. Oh, there's Madison and Jessica. Wow. Amazing. What the fuck breed is Mike? Russian blue? He's a Korat. What if I forgive Augustus? No, you have to hold a grudge and be afraid forever. You don't solve problems by confronting them, avoid them. Oh, right! Okay, so what we're about to see is some rare shit. These are the final appearances of Kazuna before she was wiped from the comic. You can't even find these anywhere. These are super rare. I'm glad that we have them.
What?
Amazil? Is that you?
Yes, I am finally here.
Eh. Oh my sweet Amazil. How are you?
What?
How is the coffee?
The coffee is sweet. I just wanted to fucking go. I figured, like, 20 minutes I should be able to get, like, a coffee. It's just down the road. An hour later, I'm back.
Well, it's good to have you. You know, it's been over a year. Can you believe that? It's
Has
been
it?
over a year since you've last been on the show. Because we did
And
the
what?
read streams, remember?
Yes, yes. How nice it was to not have to worry about BCB. Well, actually, no, I did the rant after. No, I did the rants after that, yeah.
Well, it's good that we finally got you here. I'm going to turn down the Zelda music because it makes it easier for me to focus when someone else is talking to me. But Uh, well, welcome. Better late than never. I was really running out of things to do and talk about to keep the audience invested, but now,
Huh.
so do you have the link? You pulled it up?
Not yet. I was looking at your stream. But I can pull it now,
Let's
yeah?
see. Give those Kazuna pages. Give now or else. Okay, easy, chill, easy, easy. Oh my God, I'm glad we didn't get to some of these edits. These edits are gormless. Um,
What?
Here's one of them, and then I don't know where the other one is. The last official Kazuna appearance was... Oh, I did get some of the gender bent stuff. Where is it? Okay, I'm gonna have to go here. So I already talked about my feelings about Abby. I think a good thing to do would to what are your thoughts and feelings about Abby's character before we get started?
So I mean, I've broken it down like a number of times. I feel like on the rants, but just to reiterate, like my problem with Abby has always kind of has been like so when I liked Abbey actually. When he came into the comic, I thought that he was a very interesting and very strong character. Um, and just like his personality, because if you remember back in Volume One, he kind of came off. He seemed like a white knight kind of guy, and but it's more also just seemed like, oh, this is just a smart like intellectual kid that's like that cares, and is it's a character that can maybe enlighten other characters and see beyond the bullshit. Like when he talked with Mike about his relationship with Lucy and such, he almost seemed like almost a surrogate of like a more main cast member McCain in a way. But then he sort of evolved, and him getting into a relationship with Daisy was actually really good. I actually liked that, and I was a shipper of. I actually shipped Abby and Daisy, for the most part. Like up until like up until like the end of like halfway through January, like the comic. Like it wasn't until not even the Abbey Smash scene, because the Abbey Smash scene, I remember, I looked at that was more just like, whoa, okay, I see that this conflict between Abby and Paolo. This is serious. We should take it seriously. Okay, shit. All right then. And what I do, but I'm not blaming it on Abby. I'm like, maybe there's something to it. Uh, however, I it really switched when it was Golden Hour came out, and we had that scene where Abby and Daisy are fighting, and Abby is like, "You're always defending him. You always do this, blah blah blah," and he's blaming Daisy for their relationship falling apart. And I'm like, and that was the moment where I was like, okay, no, fuck Abby, fuck Abby, and then like, and I think I've talked about, I don't know if I brought this up before, but like Abby was supposed to be in False Idol, in the concept of False Idol, it was supposed to be all the characters, going on one last adventure, and Abby was supposed to be in there, but then once that split dropped, and I'm like, what the fuck is his man? What do you mean? Fucking, why is he blaming Daisy for this when he hasn't been talking about his problems? He hasn't been fucking doing any. He hasn't been communicating properly, and he does have some responsibility towards this. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? I thought he was smart, and so at that point, I'm like, yeah, fuck Abby. We are not even going to give him a redemption arc. We're not going to give him the legwork. We are going to throw him into the incinerator off screen because fuck Abby.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
but wasn't False Idol part of your January universe where you wrote him to not do that?
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Like the Abby smash was supposed to be like the redemption. Like, all right, now everything's solved, everything's fixed, and it's like, okay, because we can solve like the we can solve the Paolo uh, versus Abbey thing. Because my thought was like, and bear in mind also like, I still wasn't reading the comic at this time. I just saw the pages that people showed me, and so that one was one of them, and then also this one, and so I was like, what the fuck? Actually, fuck this. But yeah. So like, I guess I can go into it. The idea that is, and I'm like, because I was wondering like, okay, how do you write it off? And in fact, I did have an idea of start kind of working out because I have an idea of how they would, Abby could still be an asshole even though like they had that talk in January, and eh, I had thought about like inserting that like maybe when Lucy when in one of the few times that Abby where Lucy and Daisy talk, and it kind of did. The closest it did was just yeah, actually no, yeah, I pretty much revealed it in the last scene that we've published for False Idol, where Daisy and Lucy are in the bathroom. Daisy's like, yeah, I realized that Abby just I was taking care of him more than he was taking care of me. He wasn't really there for me, which is the exact problem that I have with Abby is that he never really came across, or well, yeah, after like really thinking about it, like thinking about like, okay, what are the scenes that I can think of where Abby and Daisy are together and they're doing stuff? I don't remember any where Abby is doing things for Daisy. Remember a number of them where Daisy's doing things for Abby, but I don't remember the other way around. And I've had to talk about this before, but it's like I'm like, when has Abby ever gone? Has Abby ever gone to like her cheer meets, or has he ever? Oh no, yeah, yeah. This was like one of the first where rants I talked about, where I was talking about guest of honor. And it's like Abby hasn't even gone to. We haven't seen Abby go to any of her cheer meets. He seems to not have any interest in that. He doesn't know or seem to have it. He doesn't know about Daisy's interest about this author at the convention. He doesn't know anything. It's like, and that's the problem with Abby is that his character has been pigeonholed into instead of focusing on
He's
his
the angry
relationship.
one.
Not even the angry one. He's the sad sap. You're supposed to pity him.
Isn't that
He's the
all of them?
victim. Yes, but he's also but it's on but more explicitly. Because the main thing about Abby that he always talks about, or that he's always going on about, is about how he deserves pity, you know, he is the victim. He was the victim of Paolo being a bully. You must be sorry for him. So that gives him free reign to do whatever. Except that we never learns that that's a wrong thing or that maybe he should ease up. Oh, no, he does. He's told that. He's told that many times and it never fucking sticks. And that's the other thing that I just hate about Abby is that like he a lot of the chapters with Abby, at least in the modern volume, in the recent volumes, is just Abby learns the same thing that he was told to learn like a year ago.
But
Like, yeah,
Amazil, Paulo and Abby are friends now. Did you read New Year's resolution? They're friends.
I've heard, but also, even if they are friends, what does that change? The
Well, they're
only
not gonna fight
thing,
anymore.
I
Maybe.
think the thing is like I think the pro the main crux of it is that I don't know if Tashi really knows what to do with him. Like in terms like if he doesn't have the conflict, if he doesn't have the relationship, what does he have? And
He could
that's
just be
the
hanging out.
but that's not interesting. That's not no one wants to see that.
Yeah,
What are you
well,
talking
sounds like
about?
nobody wanted to see the other thing either.
No. What do you mean? It's so emotional. It's emotional. That gives emotions bring engagement, and that brings life. Okay, that's what we're doing. What are you
Well,
talking about?
I'm happy that they're friends. It's much more interesting to get this than having the same Abby and Paulo hate each other for 15, 17, 18 years. BCB is now 18 years old.
Yes.
Eight. That is a full-grown adult, and we
Yeah.
still chugging along. You would think
Ugh.
Teshi would have an inkling of how hormones work. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's been a while since she was a teenager, so it's been a while since I was a teenager. Holy shit! Like, what do you think this is? Uh, well, now that we've established where both of us lie when it comes to Abby's character, we're finally an hour and 37 minutes into the stream. We're gonna be taking a look at the document itself. And as I said before, I am shocked that AgentChimendez was not banned for this. Like, people
Mm.
have been banned for less. Uh,
I
believe you me.
remember that people were banned because they said that they didn't vote. I think.
Oh, I don't know about that, but the character death of Abbey. So right here at the top of the page, this is a table of contents.
Mm.
Humble approach, and we're gonna go along with the what chapters it's in as well. So let's pull humble approach up. There we go. Hold up. There we go. All right. A gentle hand with no blood on it yet. Yes, I'm going to exclude every instance of this. Abby also tells David he doesn't respond to Abe because that is what his father responds to, with a particular glare that would be passed off as him still being annoyed with Paulo, but we readers later learn why the nickname is met with scorn. Finally, the chapter ends with letting us know Abby does have a breaking point. A breaking point?
Mm.
Oh, he this is the breaking point when he yells at David to go away.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
the Five Commandments of Abbey. Abby and Daisy bond over school and typical nerdy activities. I don't remember seeing that, but you know what's funny?
Right.
Daisy and Augustus have more bonding time than Abby and Daisy do. Isn't that just quack and crazy, Jimbo? Like, we actually see, like, we get new beginnings, sure, but that's one chapter. Think about how many chapters we saw of Augustus and, like, Daisy talking and like,
I can only think of like maybe two.
that's still more than one chapter. Still,
Oh.
Abby helps and defends women he sees in need. Abby worries about becoming his father. Paulo frequently antagonizes Abby without prompt. Paulo sees Abby and his first instinct is to call him a fruitcake. Yeah, but he was acting. You need to understand, people don't act this way, right? I'm saying this guy's like a fedora tipper in this chapter. Like, of course Paulo's gonna make fun of him for acting like very strange. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, by the way.
Yeah.
He didn't call him a fruitcake. He said he wants to tap that, but just saying.
I mean, he probably did. He may have like in the maybe there's revisions.
Yeah, well, no, I'm looking at the revisions. When does he first call him a fruitcake?
I don't know.
Well, it's not
I
in
know
this
it
chapter, but
happens.
I get it. I get what they're trying to say. There's a hell of a lot to unpack here. Please trust that I will do this later in the explanation. Abby has developed a negative perception of Paulo. This is true. This is a good indicator of when Paulo starts his shift into defense mode, but even so, it's not that prominent until later. I feel like choking him in a bathroom is pretty offensive. That's an offensive move.
Well,
Daisy.
that hasn't happened yet. We're getting there, I think.
Daisy bought the condoms. Yeah, milady, exactly. Was it that letter Augustus left in Daisy's locker canon or not? No, that was just a funny image. Uh, how Guest of Honor assassinated Abby's character. I think
Yeah.
we've all been there. What's up, Amazil?
No, no. I was thinking guest of honor. Yeah, it's the character assassination.
See, it's funny. Everyone literally says the same thing. Everyone's like, "That's it. That's the moment Abby died." Like, you know how people make the video like, "Oh, the day the Simpsons died or the day Family Guy died." This is the day Abby died.
Well, I
That
mean, yes, it makes sense. I mean, I've said it, like I said in the beginning, I'm like, that wasn't where I gave up on him. I'm like, no, let's try and fix this and stop this.
did they?
But
Did
that,
they
but
fix this?
no, they didn't. I did with the fucking because that was I, I because in January that was what led to the balcony scene where Paolo and Abby are talking in the New Year's Christmas party special. Well, that was because of the Abbey smash.
Let's see. Kazuna Enjoyer said also important part is Daisy's role in all of it and how she basically uses Paulo for anything her boyfriend isn't available for, on top of everything else from the flashbacks. Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't blame her for that though. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's asking any friend to like, can you like be with me while I go to this convention thing? Like, why
No
not?
nerd Daisy is too embarrassed to ask no nerd Abby to go to the convention with her. Why? Yeah, this one doesn't make any sense.
It's the yeah. So the thing is, I guess like it, and I again, I'm not putting it on Daisy's character necessarily, but like it, though it was obviously played off as like a cutesy sort of thing, right?
Yeah, like a kind of a
So
not like really a misunderstanding, but like she's embarrassed about it. But I like
yeah,
it.
but
I get it, but it's kind of also like it exists because drama, right?
yeah, and it shouldn't. And well, but it goes back into and if it didn't have if what happened and Guest of Honor didn't happen, like it would have been easy to like s- dismiss, because it's like, but because of what happened, it adds an additional context of now it makes it seem like they're not that their relationship is bad, but that they aren't as upfront with each other as they appear to be, and that's the real problem of their relationship.
Yeah, like she's more comfortable with Paulo than she is with him, basically. Even
Or
before
even
Paulo
just
was
that they
Mike.
haven't, or even just that they aren't willing to share each other's interests, and that's what I, and that's why it's like as I mentioned before of like um it just seeming like they are not as good people as they were.
Daisy's not really promiscuous. Who would hate Mike more for kissing Daisy, Abby, or Augustus? I think Augustus probably would like be like, of course Mike did that. Abby would be like, I don't care, even though he does. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's something to that. It's the drama that makes the story happen. Yeah. Why did Paulo not insult Abby at all?
Go
I don't.
on.
Well, I guess we'll get to that. This is
Oh,
still the
you mean
table of
in the
contents.
in Guest of Honor?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I no, he does. Yeah, it's like yeah, you look like a weirdo because you're in guys.
Why the fuck does Abby smile? Who struggle? Why the fuck does Abby, who struggles with his own violent tendencies, smile? Well, that's there for the audience. That's there because the audience is like supposed to. Well, no, because it's on the same page he chokes him, so you can't really like do like a little like a bait and switch, right? Like this, you could do a bait and switch for, but like this and then that, yeah.
Yeah,
But like the
and
thing is, he struggles with like this is a moment of anger, but it's not like he was like building up to it. I don't. It
no,
fucking
it's
sucks. He just went out of his way to be an asshole. I guess I don't know.
no, yeah, like I, it's funny because that is like the first rant as I was made, but for Guest of Honor, because it was just or no, it was the second one. That's right, because the first one was Boy Toy, but yeah, I've talked about this before on in that one, but it's like it really just paints him uh it really just annihilates any of the implied like character development that this character was supposed to have. It's and what's really damning about it is is that it's Abby's the one character, right, that we know we've seen has therapy, gets therapy. You know, he's seeing a doctor, he's seeking help, and this is what he's capable of. Like this is here's what therapy gets you, kids. The ability to still be a fucking psychopath. Isn't that wonderful? And it's so fucking destructive and almost insulting.
Yeah, I mean that I
It's
think that because going through the Donde Esta Lucy blog, I've seen a few people upset about everyone hating Abby, right? Especially after this happened. They're like, how come people don't
yeah.
understand that Abby has like mental health issues, yada yada yada. And it's like, well, because he was this, like the way
Because
it's
there's a
executed.
fucking line that needs to be drawn. Okay? Like I get it. Like I am a I'm not bashing mental health or people that are dealing with PTSD or trauma in their lives. I'm
I
just
mean,
saying like you're supposed to be getting help. And if you're still feeling that this sort of anger and this kind of thing, you're supposed to be working through that. And if you're not, if your caretaker, if your therapist is not helping you and you don't feel like you're getting better, it is exactly like the thing that it's what I talked about in January. Where Sam tells Lucy this, it's like if I don't think that you're getting better, if I don't think that these medicines are working, I'm not. We gotta pull the plug, and we'll do some. We have to do the other options because you have other options. You can't. Don't just sell yourself onto one idea that, oh, I'm getting therapy, so this is working, and so now, and whatever I do now, it's okay. You know, it's fine. You know, this person says it's fine, even though it's not. Like, what else are you supposed to be doing?
uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, but then where does the story go? Then we don't get the scene where Abby gets chokes out Paulo in a bathroom if we do that.
It's
This is the
the
most
thing is
dramatic
like
thing that could happen, Amazil, and
it's
that's why
over
she
the
wrote it.
top is what it is. Like it's ridiculously over the top. The fact that it has no again, this is the problem with it is that it's not just that you know it's a bad thing. Abby did the bad thing and we should feel upset about him. It's also just that it's again it is in a character it's character assassination. It's taking everything that this character had and that was building up and saying that it was a lie. His therapy, him dealing with his anger, it was a lie. His relationship with Daisy and him being a caring boyfriend, it was a lie. All of it was fake. And here we are. And there's not and it's not like there's any we didn't like have any Abbey chapter before this where we may be maybe inclined to be into this. The closest thing was the fuck, I forget what the hell it was called, but fuck, I just did it in the fucking Paolo show. But the one where Abby and the one after Happy Hour, that one, like that was the closest thing. And so like from that standpoint, it's like, oh, their relationship should be okay now. They should be all right, right? But no, it's weird.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense how Abby knows that Paulo went out of his way to get him and Daisy back together, and then is still accusing him of trying to get in Daisy's pants. Like, did you forget the thing that
Yeah,
happened like a week ago?
we gotta go. Yeah, I, yeah.
All the
It's
characters.
just so bizarre. It really it feels like it just dismisses everything else that the comic set up about this whole relationship and their dynamic for what seems like no good reason.
Well, Paulo was grabbing. girls without their permission. That's pretty bad. Willem
He wasn't
Murder.
doing that in the con though.
Yeah, but I mean, though, Willem Murderface said these characters all used to be more likable, and I would say that they were flawed but likable. Now they're flawed and unlikable. But maybe that's the point. Maybe they're supposed to be like in a shit place, and you want. But like, do you even want to see them succeed at this point? Is it just like so far gone that it's like I don't care if they work things out. I guess it's up to the reader to decide.
And you decide.
But
No, but
Paulo even being less insufferable, like yeah, sure, he didn't cry all the time, but he still wasn't great because like I mean, you see the prom chapter, he's like grabbing all these women and shit, and like he grabs Lucy and you know, and in the original
oh,
version of Volume One, he even like brags that he's gonna get to molest Lucy now that Mike is with Sandy. So, but I mean, that was taken out of the rewrite, so it really shouldn't
yeah.
count.
But also
Mike is a Giga Chad. No, he's the loser Chad. He's a Giga
no,
loser.
but but here's the thing though, right? Those things, that's fine because Paolo like it, and it's one thing that I don't like about some of the rewrites is that because that's no longer in there, like there's no real growth or not as much growth. Like we see Paolo like grow from thinking that yeah, flirting and doing this stuff, that's cool, well, that's okay. And then he's like, wait, no, that's actually not okay. What am I doing? It's character growth, it's character development, and it's somewhere where he can grow and he stops doing it, and and so you can root for him. Like, it's what I talked about when I did the Paolo show rant. It's like this is that did so much for his character, and it's why where he is now or where he would become later, like being so whiny is such a problem because he didn't need, because it's like Abby telling him you're still a bad person even though you've grown, even though you've stopped doing this stuff as much, even though you're growing and learning and doing this stuff, it's not enough because you did this before. Like it gives the idea that even if someone changes who they are or how they behave, it's still not enough, and it's a purely destructive mentality.
And that's why
It's
Abby's a dick.
yeah, it's why the fucking I was so fucking upset about. I mentioned this in the Hello rant again. Um, was that it's what made those next few chapters like so insufferable because Paolo becomes a recluse and so he regresses because he's told like, well shit, I tried, and it's not good enough. My best is not good enough. What the fuck do I do now? Oh well, I guess I just gotta be like everyone else. And he just becomes an insufferable fucking passive aggressive bitch.
Let's see. Uh, but why the fuck does Abby, who struggles with it, smile, but we didn't? It doesn't help that the Daisy Abby Paulo conflict gets phrased like this. Question one: no nerd Daisy is too embarrassed to ask no nerd Abby to go to convention with her. Why? How to balance out the conflict and thereby not kill Abby. Number one, make it clearer where Paulo went too far. Two, make it very clear Abby intends to do something about it and why. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. That would require Tessie to write some sort of introspection for the characters, and she hates doing that. Uh,
Uh,
like, we need some introspection on these characters so we can understand why they're doing what they're doing, but she never writes it. So everyone's confused all the time about why they're acting the way that they are. Unless they actually open
yeah.
up and talk about it, uh, everyone's left in the dark. Anime conventions were so fun, yeah. Um,
It can still be. I don't know. I've only ever gone to one anime convention, so I don't really have much to talk about in that regard. I didn't even really do much there.
show more variety in Abby's perspective, but in order to accentuate that, I'm showing examples of Paulo's perspective. School's in. Our first view of Paulo is our indicator of how he's chosen to handle his conflict with Daisy, to deliberately ignore her. Take note that Daisy calls out to him first. He makes a pointed cough and turns to greet Mike instead. Me too, Sue. I don't know what Sue said that you agreed with, but I agree. 4. Now let's actually see that variety in Abby's perspective. Let's recap. Conclusion, I ain't reading all that. Show me the end. Yeah, so here's the actual first page. The character death of Abbey. Note, please don't be alarmed by the page count. This is a very image-heavy doc that takes up a lot of pages.
Ah, it's just this is like a more structured rant then.
Yeah. By the way, I feel like you could write something like this for all the characters.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it really does like a lot of character assassinations for a lot for or at least all the main characters, especially.
For
But
su-
like, yeah.
for such a long-running series, Bittersweet Cannibal has had an ever-changing cast member page. As some characters shine brighter in certain arcs, they tend to step back once their purpose is fulfilled.
Yep.
You know what's funny? A lot of this is probably going to be shit that a lot of people have been saying for years, especially you, which is the reason why I wanted you to be a part of it, because it's like a lot of this is like Amazil's said this like 10 years ago and he got banned for it. Just saying. Obviously, you weren't a moderator like Agent is, but uh, still, it's kind
I
of
am
crazy.
Nostradamus, damn it. I've always told you. When will you people learn I'm always right?
Zachary and Catherine are contained within the Silvershore arc. Justin doesn't really do anything outside of Onwards to Adventure, and McCain was deliberately cut from the story. There are some characters who have,
Sad.
yeah, big L. There are some characters who have a particular role, however, that keeps them from being totally gone, but not enough to earn their own spot on the character page. Sadie and Katie, for instance, haven't been on the character page for quite some time despite being longtime cast members because they don't show up unless they're needed for someone else's story. I think this goes back to you saying that characters are just used as plot devices. Uh,
Yeah, typically.
Hell, Haley and Chris don't have a spot either because once you establish they're Mike's siblings, it's all you really need to know. Wait, are they? I thought Stacy and Katie are on the character page.
They may have been taken. I don't know. Because
Oh, no, they're not on there.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, they haven't been relevant since. The only thing that like the only thing that has given Stacy any relevance was the commission chapter. So,
And
I
she's
mean,
part of
I
the
don't really
guild though, which is what this intermission is about, is the guild thing. So she's gonna be there in the background.
yeah, maybe.
Kane is dead.
If they choose to.
Why is Lucy's brother there? Yeah, exactly. Well, he's part of the senior squad, so. Why is Tess there? She's not in the comic anymore. Uh,
Wait, they have tests?
yeah.
What? I mean,
Tess is there, Jordan's there, Yashi, Blur, Chirpy, and Lily are there.
oh,
Madison's
you
there for
you mean
some
the
reason.
character sheet. Oh,
Molly's there for some reason.
I thought you were talking about the recent chapter. I'm like, what
No,
the fuck?
this
They
is
brought it
no
back?
that would be amazing, but no. I'm talking
Damn
about
it.
the about section with all the
Yeah.
characters.
Well, in that case, yeah. So in there, it makes sense for Tess and For Tess, it makes a lot of sense because, as I mentioned in the Palo rant, like, yeah, in the Palo show rant, it's like Tess was such an integral character to BCB. Yeah, like she was the one that set up the Acapulco arc, and a lot of the biggest moments in Bittersweet Candy Bowl can be traced back to her involvement. She was a very she was a very good character and very likable. I don't know.
This was last updated on November 12th, 2022. The about page. Most of Rachel's
Uh,
character is being horny. Yeah, but slut pup is best pup, right?
Indeed. Like I also know, like that's not that is very dismissive about Rachel,
Oh, you
or
know,
at
but
least
that's
of
what
her
you say.
development.
I'm just
No,
saying
I
anything.
mean, no, I'm saying that I'm talking about the original statement that all of her stuff is her being horny. Like, yes, but no. Like, on a surface level, that is. And that's what her character was for the longest time, except that it really wasn't. She ended up becoming more. Like, she developed into her own personal character, like, over time. It was what made she's what made the Paolo show and like the later chapters a lot more bearable because she was able to be um, that kind of older, wiser character for Paolo and the kids that Tess was supposed to be. She fit into that role better, and it also gave her character like a lot more depth. So
See.
saying that she's just a horny character, it's not. It takes away too much. I'd say maybe now. I don't know, because because once she stopped being in a relationship with Paolo, like it's really it really made her character less relevant and thus less interesting for Tessie to work with, at least for her. I still love her, but yeah.
Let's see. What does this have to do with Abbey? More than you think, but isn't he on the character page? You may or may not be telling me, and yes, he is, but there's a reason Augustus shows up before Abbey in the character list despite not being in the central group. I I would say Augustus is kind of part of the central group, at least through Lucy.
But even still, like if so, like I view the character sheet as like these are characters that you'd be interested in as a whole. I don't know about some of them, but some of them are a lot less relevant than others. I
Yeah, like
won't
David.
say, but not no. David is the main character. He's an OG. He's been there since the beginning.
Look,
Don't you cut David?
Augustus is more plot relevant than Abbey. At least right
Yeah.
now he is.
No, and he has been a character that you're supposed to like think about because like even in the volume one, and like he has been the secondary antagonist, you know, and also like if you do have his actually I don't even that is another thing that I hope this thing brings it up, but I do think like it is so fucking weird. I brought it up when I did the rant on witch hunt, but it's like it's so fucking bizarre to me that like in that bit it seemed like Abby was more upset about Daisy being around Paolo that or no no Abby wasn't in that, but I don't remember, but it does seem like it seemed odd that like sometimes seems more upset about Abby being or Daisy being near Paolo than Daisy being around Augustus. Oh wait, no, I remember. I was comparing that the SAT chapter to Witch Hunt because in Witch Hunt or something was Abby in Witch Hunt? I can't remember.
Abbey
I swear it
was
happened. I swear I fucking
tangentially.
talked about that once.
Wait, was he? I
No,
don't
I
think
don't
he
think he was.
was. No, he is. No, he's
Or is
not. That's Sue.
no? That's yeah, no. Well, and one thing I think it no, I think it was just that college material
Yeah,
because
it's right here.
Abby like kind of like oh it's fine, and then but if he's oh right yeah because afterwards is the damn dodgeball thing, so yeah that's why it's still fucking bizarre to me that yeah Abby would lash out more and be more upset about Paolo than Augustus. What a guy! So
Yeah, well,
so
he knows
great.
that Augustus has no chance of being with Daisy again, but Paulo does have a chance.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Uh, even still, the fucking guy that, as far as he knows, um, sexually assaulted his ex girlfriend, and he had to stop from doing that.
Oh,
I
right.
didn't know. I would have thought he might be more upset about that man than
Because
the guy who is just a dick.
Kazuna
But
Enjoyer brings up a good point that Abby and Jasmine are not in the Halloween chapter. This is why we were getting the book exclusive extra chapter. Because that one's
uh,
about Jasmine and Abby and Molly.
oh, well, at least they're doing something. Do I say
She.
the thing?
What?
No, about Jasmine X Abby.
Go ahead, might as well.
Yeah, I still think she is just a narrative cockwarmer, and it's so upsetting. I wish she wasn't. I
I
wish she had
love
more.
Jasmine so much.
I want more from her. I want more from everyone.
Amaya
And
centered chapter when every chapter Amaya is in is Amaya centered. Fem David has the
David, you said?
Fem David. Uh, let's see. He may. But there's a reason Augusta shows up before Abby in the character list despite not being part of such a group. At this point, Abby exists for the sake of the other characters, particularly Daisy and especially Paulo, and that is his character death. To be
Yep.
reduced to a thing, an object, an obstacle, rather than a character like everyone else. That welcome to Bittersweet Candy Bowl, where every single
Okay.
character that's not the main four ends up being literally that.
I was
James
going
is
to
now
say
that.
like not every.
It happened to James really fast. It was like instantly James was just an object for a lesson of Mike being really friendly with people. That was literally all James existed to do.
I told you this. Like I warned you,
Yeah, I
people.
know.
Twink Squad. I knew exactly what that shit was. It was a fucking bait.
Of course it
I
was bait.
warned you.
It was good bait. People loved it, but it was bait. Here, look at this. Literally, James's entire character exists for this moment. That's it.
Mm.
And sure, he shows up in New Year's resolution, but like the whole point of that scene is like uh this
Uh,
that's it. And like now he's just gonna go to the background and be another side character.
yeah, yeah, I'll be as relevant as Tiff. And
Be
what?
as relevant as
I
Carter.
can't remember. Hey, how dare you? I love Carter. I've said this before. Like Carter, for all his faults, he's not a great guy, and I don't think that he's a good person. But he, by himself,
Right.
carried the plot idea that people were infatuated with Lucy for her looks. Because because if you think about it, right? I, I've said this before, but there's when you think about it, like both Mike and Lucy have this same sort of problem of like, oh, everyone wants me, but they don't understand me, and for Mike, like if you think, okay, who are Mike's romantic interests? You can name a bunch of them in terms of the or at least for even for like side characters. It's like, okay, we got Sue, you got Amaya, you have Stacy, you have all these characters, and then Daisy for Lucy though, you don't. You have Paolo, David, and Mike, not Mike, and it's like you have no other like side characters that hammer this idea home. You just don't, or not to the especially not to the same sort of way that Mike does.
I would
And so it's what makes that sort of that plot point really hard, a lot weaker because now that Liam's no longer exists, Carter doesn't exist. So who is wanting Lucy for her looks?
what's the difference between side characters and background characters? Background characters don't talk.
Yeah, primarily like the thing. Yeah, they don't like have any real involvement. Side characters like Amaya or Sue and and Sue and even McCain, like they at least have involvement. They have some
Oh,
like
that was an
points.
ironic question. Oh, I guess we took the
Uh,
bait. We're stupid.
Look, I'm not reading. You are.
Oh, well.
You led me astray. All
I
right.
didn't. I was just trying to be helpful. Let's see. At this point, an object and obstacle rather than a character like everyone else. The cracks were already forming beforehand, but guest of honor is when Abbey truly stopped being himself and became a character who exists to be the second half of Paulo's own December conflict. Except that's not even a one-to-one comparison. Mike and Lucy had a whole omnibus of wrongdoing towards each other that led to their fallout in December. There's enough evidence on
Mm,
both sides where, to this day, there are people who firmly support one over the other. I agree. This is actually one of the best things that Teshi has ever like the balance between who was in the right and who was in the wrong. I'm personally on kind of both sides where they were both in the right and in the wrong. I think that's
okay.
fair.
Well, I mean, like, okay, that is literally what I talked about in Burnt Bridges. Like, but I think at Burnt Bridges, like with what happened, and especially with Double Down, like it's it's almost it's awful. Like it's skewed. It is skewed way off now. Not even for like God, fucking forgetting the damn chapter names. I've been I've been away for too long. But what whatever the one where fucking Mike kiss well Lucy kisses Mike, whoever the fuck gives a
You're gonna
shit.
have to narrow it down because it's a lot of chapters.
No,
It's like
because like
3. Well, there's
but
confrontation where she kisses him at the end, and then there was Eternal Flame where she kisses him at
yeah,
the end,
Eternal Flame is the one I'm thinking of.
and then
Like
Pillow
even
Talk where
like
Mike
some might
kisses
think
Lucy.
like that's like the end of Eternal Flame, like that makes puts Mike into in the doghouse and skews the thing to where Mike is no longer likable. Like that's the so the thing it's what I brought up with Burnt Bridges. So like if you think about it, like from a narrative standpoint, what happened where we see Lucy like forcibly kiss Augustus, like that to me just screams we need to balance this out because we've gone too far for Mike and now everyone has agreed that Mike is bad and fuck Mike,
But like
rightfully so.
even with his reasoning for it, which you can kind of follow it, right? Like he knows how Sandy feels because that's how he felt when Lucy went away, right?
No, yeah, yeah, exactly. But still,
But Lucy
it's after
always rebounds. She always does this shit. It's not like it's out of the ordinary.
no, she that's the no, that's not the problem. The problem is the it's the
I know.
it's the implications.
It's the
She wouldn't say no because of the
the
implications.
pendulum swinging
That's
the other direction. I get it.
yeah. I didn't get to
But
make
it
a
still paints Lucy as sympathetic and Mike is not sympathetic, right? Because Mike still did
n-
the wrong thing
in a way,
overall.
but also it paints her as the hard R, and I don't fucking like. And it's still, and so there's another thing. It
You
changed.
better
It's like I
watch it on
mentioned.
that
And
hard R shit too. I'll fucking kick
would
you
you
out of.
like me to say
No, please. What must I do? Don't, please.
the R word? I don't want to say the R word. Okay,
Not,
this is my funny way of not talking about sexual assault. Okay, that's the thing. That's why it's called the hard R. But like the thing is, right? That's it's exactly what I pointed out in the burnt bridges thing. It's that now now we've yes you've succeeded. You have succeeded in trying to balance this scale. But the problem is that what you were supposed to do, what you should have done as a creative fucking writer, as an artist, if you want to make this, is like if you want to balance the scales of sympathy where one person is like all the way down here and the other person is now all the way up here, is that you make that person down there work up and they kind of build it up. That's kind of what the first half of Burnt Bridges is doing. But then Teshi decided, no, we can do that, but what would really speed this along and make this much more gripping is if we take the person that's up here and drag them the fuck down. It's like it's like what you were saying. Yeah, that oh yeah, sure. She does this all the time. But guess what? It goes back to what the problem with Abbey is. It's that he doesn't fucking grow. He doesn't fucking learn. Lucy was gone for 6 months and doing supposedly, presumably getting better, getting help, at least, or at the very least, getting introspection, figuring out some other way to deal with her problems. Except that, no, it didn't help because she's back on her same shit. And it's so what was she doing? So what was the point? What was the point of any of her development in the background? What was the point of having her taken away if she's just going to do the same shit that she was doing before, except that now you have extra fucking layer of scum on top of her actions? Like, what is the point?
Yeah, it. We we gotta get back to Abby. Uh, but maybe
I was thinking
somebody.
about Abby.
Oh, let's see. The whole was guess. Both sides they firmly spoke. Guest of honor, on the other hand, was orchestrated in a way to make the aggressor in the relationship look his absolute best, so the other guy looks worse in comparison. So basically, what
Yeah.
she's saying is that uh, Paulo is the aggressor, and so she's Teshi's emotionally manipulating the audience to be on Paulo's side before it all comes tumbling down,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it worked.
I agree with that.
And it
Yeah.
worked. Source: I've been in the fandom for over a decade and watched the public's opinion shift. Let's actually see what are the comments on that page. Guest of honor. We'll go here. Oh my gosh, it's all the way over here. Let's see. Abbey is his own worst enemy at this point. If anyone that reads the comic had any respect for him, it's gone now.
Yeah.
Called it. Fight, fight, tear out his spleen. Seriously, dude, if you can't handle the fact your girlfriend is hanging out with another guy, then you really need help. Yeah, no shit. No kidding. What? Hashtag bittersweet candy bowl. Hashtag BCB. That's what people's reactions were. I knew that Abby was suspicious of Apollo and Daisy's friendship ever since the arc where they all had group study for midterms. Bro, someone get the peanut butter cause Abby is super jelly.
Ooh.
Guys, you gotta remember it was 2015. It was a different time.
Uh,
I was
as
much
uh,
happier. What?
as the great poet once said, just sing along. I'm the king of catastrophe. I'm so far gone that that seems all right by me. I am my own worst enemy.
All I can say is fuck you, Abby. If I remember right, Paulo hasn't taken advantage of any girls. Jess and Rachel took advantage of him. He actually liked Jasmine, so he didn't take advantage of her either. He could have taken advantage of Lucy that one night also. By the way, I said all this.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this comment about this comment when I said all this earlier. He could have
I
taken
mean,
advantage of what?
no, no. I'm just thinking like that's exactly what that's what I put into the fucking the balcony scene in January. Because Paolo says that exact thing. He's like, dude, I never did anything with them. I never fucked. I didn't fuck any of my girlfriends. I didn't fuck Tess, even though I should have. I didn't fuck Lucy. I didn't fuck Jasmine. I didn't. And fuck you. What do you think? What are you talking about? Like the idea that he's that bad
But
is
the
just
idea
not
is
true.
is that Abby doesn't see that because he's blinded by his bias. He just sees
Oh yeah.
this guy flirting with every girl that comes across his path, though he just assumes that Paulo is taking advantage of all of them because he's had so many girlfriends. He's been with so many people. That's the
No,
idea of it.
yeah.
Did
Yeah,
he?
and
No.
I just want to point out like right, that's to me is like the main problem with Abby, and it's also a problem that and it's also a it's kind of a problem that a lot of the characters have now, which is that he ended up becoming typecasted. And what I mean is that he basically had the one thing, right? He has the one conflict, and that's it. That's all that's what we want to focus on. That's what this character is now, because that's all we're going to talk about is him and his victimhood, him and in this case, like from this point on, this is where Abby's character shifts into being the white knight that he kind of was thought to be and kind of scoffed at for being in the earlier volumes, being like the my lady, I will do whatever sort of guy. He's a super simp, but he's also like he's an incel. That's essentially, and and like I said, this happens with all of the other characters too. Like I will never forgive Teshi for doing that shit to Matt and being like, that's what Matt is now. He is just the feel sorry for gays character. when he should have just been his, instead of being his own fucking character, and being able to just be a guy who was comfortable in his own sexuality and proud to be who he is. Now he is the martyr.
Yeah, but that's
Or
what James is for, kind of. James doesn't really talk about being gay. They don't really bring it up.
no, but like that's the stupid thing about it is like you had it already. You already fucking have Matt. And then
Yeah,
the
but Matt
now
can't kiss Mike. That's the thing.
but nah, but you don't even use Matt for anything else. Matt could have so many fucking things. You could have him just be a guy like in fucking in the chapter after Happy Hour. Like that was so fucking good.
Yeah, but who else is gonna dance around the room going ee?
Jess.
No, it must be Matthew. He must be flamboyant. You must do it.
No, it's not about the flamboyancy. It's like it's just that in this fucking chapter, right? At the end, Matt cries, and then the next chapter that has Matt as a prominent chapter is the one is the bowling alley game is the bowling chapter in which Matt fucking cries
All
about
right.
being gay.
All right. We're
And
getting I hate to cut you off. We are getting off top. We got to be talking about Abby.
no,
Uh
it is kind of tangential because
yeah.
I again looping it back like that's the problem with Abby is that he ended up becoming typecasted in the same way that Matt did, in the same way that other characters have.
Uh,
Like they have the hook, and that's all that they have now, and it's so reductive.
yeah,
It's reductive to
he
who they
became
are.
the angry one. Did he? No, because that's not who he is. Abby is only seeing Paula for what he wants him to be. Like father, like son, eh, Abby? What abusive filth he's become. Jesus Christ. That's kind of
Well,
mean.
it's not entirely wrong.
Abby has no chill. Holy crap. This probably wouldn't have happened if you just told Daisy the truth. Abby does not know what's in the combo. Abby does not recycle. What does that mean?
I think he threw some trash in the previous thing.
Oh,
Oh yeah, like after he ends, like
it's
because he washed his hands, I think.
it's stuff like that Abby does that makes me question why that guy hasn't gone to therapy yet. Did you read the
He
comic?
has. That's
Did
the
you not read the
problem.
web comic of Bittersweet Candy Bowl?
Bittersweet Candy Bowl. Therapy doesn't help that much.
Because regardless of how good his intentions are, he has more anger issues than a bull being poked with multiple cattle prods. Abby, for the love of God, get some therapy. Abby's just a lame character. Wasn't there something about a car crash? Yeah, that was the prom one where Paulo gets in the car crash. Abby, you've
Yeah.
become your father. Someone said, I think we're all curious about Lucy. Not really relevant. Uh,
Well, I mean, that is everyone has. And I mean, I mentioned it before in the Fallow show.
oh, I didn't
Like
even notice
people still
this.
what?
The
He
Paulo
winces.
flinches when Abby moves closer. I didn't even notice that.
Oh yeah, he did.
Uh, let's see. The way Paulo flinches when Abby moves closer to him breaks my heart. Okay, Abby, she has known Paulo longer than you, and if he was going to even hit on her, he would have done it by now. Get off your high horse, you loser, before you lose her. Boy, isn't this person in for a happy surprise in a couple of chapters? Because if I was her and you did that to my friend, I'd throw your selfish ass to the curb. Well, Zone Robotnik, I have good news for you. I have very good news for you. Anyway, everyone feels very when you feel down. Doodle cartoons. What is this? Oh. Well, there you go. So that's what people were saying about Abby at the time. Just to like kind of give everyone perspective of what Agent is talking about.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't condone Abby's behavior because everything about that scene is framed in such a way where Paulo is completely innocent and Abby suddenly gets less and less focus at a time where you'd need it the most. Yeah, but doesn't it make up for it that Teshi decided to make a flashback sequence instead of actually just writing that stuff into the comic in a natural way? where it wouldn't feel like it was just kind of a cheap shot to like try to go back and recontextualize and retcon the story.
It's
When
just shock humor or a shock. It's just shock value. That's all
yeah,
it was.
I
And
mean,
that's it's upsetting because that's what the comic has boiled down to now, like
well,
with the Eternal Flame and stuff.
Lucy needs
And
therapy. You think Lucy should go to therapy? I have good news for you because Amazil right here wrote a comic. It's called January, where Lucy goes to therapy, and it's really nice. You should check it out. I'm gonna put a link to it.
we
Let's see. Hopefully this is page one, because okay, wait, why isn't it loading?
huh?
Is January RIP?
I'd hope not. I mean, my Tumblr account still exists, so
Hold up, I gotta. How many
Tumblr may have changed
pages
some
is
stuff.
this? Like a million?
133.
Oh no, it's even. Hold up, 140.
Well, in terms of posts, like there's more because like the last few
139.
bits were split in half.
David is not fine. I hate him. Uh,
Why? David is fine.
no, you didn't read Date Night. That was
Uh,
awful. That was genuinely like the most asshole thing ever. When you
yeah.
do see
Well,
him,
to be fair, yeah, and I did poke at that in one of the rants. I forget what the fuck it was. It was one of the bullshit ones.
when you
Fuel economy, I think. What where that yeah that's it does suck that that has become again it's the same thing we talked about with Abbey and other characters is that they are boiled down into just one thing because we need them to because that's all they are now. One aspect of their character, that's all that's important. And for David, it's like, ah yes, David likes shipping and that idea. So that's his thing. So stupid. No.
when you do see Abby, he is perpetually angry and unreasonable and makes Paulo, who gets significantly more time to grow, look much better. It's a slow and painful death for Abby, and guest of honor would be the scene in a movie where he coughs into his hand and sees blood. This isn't a 2nd December. There is no Team Paulo or Team Abby. Abby is the loser by default. And I think this new you know what else? I think this intermission is probably what spurred this on, because it is another be sorry for Paulo intermission chapter, and it is probably infuriating if you are an Abby fan. To properly understand and to negate any case of me cherry picking the text, we need to go back and track how we reached this point. We need to go back to when Abby was a character named Abby, not an obstacle for Paulo. Please join me in reading the chapter where he very first appeared, Humble Approach. And by the way, it
Yeah.
would be really cool to get AgentChimendez on the stream. I know that's never going to happen because conflict of interest, but it would be nice to get kind of a live perspective. Uh, I think a lot of the BCB community agrees. It's just not all of parts of the community is allowed to openly talk about agreeing with certain things. Uh, he, Mike needs electroshock therapy for his heterosexuality, not homosexuality. Damn, that sucks. No one should. The only person that should be shocked is the audience for reading this
That
story.
is well actually I'm trying to remember what the hell it
Oh, right. I remember.
EC8
Mhm.
ECT is actually like it is a real like thing now, and it's not as scary as it sounds. Like it's not like draconian, but and it does appear to help people. So just I just want to point that out that electroshock therapy, quote unquote, is not as dangerous as you may think. Okay, if it's recommended to you, you should probably you shouldn't like dismiss it that much.
All right, I'll say going back to like the everything's kind of shock value in the comic. That is true. There is this thing in storytelling. I think what's this the guy who directed the Alfred Hitchcock came up with it, and it's the bomb under the table scenario. and you have a scenario where there's two people talking at a table and there's a bomb under the table. Now, you can either let the audience know there's a bomb under the table and that builds tension for when the bomb goes off, or you could not let them know there's a bomb under the table and then it's a surprise when the bomb goes off. And Teshi likes not showing people there's a bomb under the table, but when the bomb goes off, you look back and you're like, I didn't even realize these things were bombs, basically. I didn't realize that we knew what the bomb was until it went off. It's kind of interesting. She's kind of having her cake and eating it too. That's just my opinion.
It's so the thing about that though, and it's something that I haven't really gotten a chance to touch on, but it is very important, is that that is probably one of the biggest problems about BCB that just becomes a circular issue, cyclical issue, sorry. Specifically that because a lot of people, I'm sure you probably get this too, or probably from the outside looking in, are like, why would you care, right? Like, why are you so this invested into the comic that you're looking this deeply into their actions, and you have to look this whatever. The reason is because that's the only way that you can properly like digest this fucking comic. If you don't like think if you don't have a internal 133 page diatribe like this to figure out what the fuck is happening and why the characters are doing these things, you will never understand what the hell is going on. It's one of the biggest problems with Bittersweet Candy Bowl because it just doesn't fucking tell you anything. It's all inference. And because of that, it leads to so much confusion and it leads to a lot of debate. And part of that, and the problem is that Teshi like has found that to be successful. Like that's where we make that's how we get our bread and butter is by having people debate and talk about these things. That's how we get engagement because they have to be this deep into this shit in order to understand why something is happening. But also, it can just be bullshit.
I hate
It
how
is
Teshi
just
is both a genius writer and sucks at writing.
I don't okay, I've been told this or someone levied that at my feet about how I criticize her writing. I want to make this clear. I never have. I don't say that. I don't think that I've in fact I've said like I think she's a good writer. She just doesn't fucking act like it. She just doesn't do the thing. She doesn't write like she is. I know what she's capable of. She just doesn't do it. She'd rather go for the shock value because that's the best way. That's the best fucking engagement. That's the best way to get like, that's the best way to get people talking is by slapping them in the face with a sledgehammer. And also being able to say that, oh, you don't understand. You just don't understand. It all makes sense. And it doesn't. And sometimes it just fucking doesn't.
Hold up. Alright. Let's see, Daisy is down and out more than usual. She's starting to feel like her crush on Mike is truly going nowhere and frets over what to do. Mike's got Sandy and his whatever's going on with Lucy is as active as ever. To add insult to injury, Daisy trips over a turtle. A kind hand reaches out to her. A gentle hand with no blood on it yet. That makes me want to edit this panel and put blood on his hand. Anyway. 6 panels into seeing his face, and we already know this guy's got a bit of a sting, but what else do you do when someone you don't know just hopped in to call you a nerd? Anyway, what is he doing here? You heard it here, folks. In 9 panels, we've got about everything we need to know about Abby. He's in Daisy's class. What class? Probably English. Has noticed how much she participates in class and has paid enough attention to recognize her sudden shift in attitude. He felt it was disconcerting enough to finally talk to her, and so here we are. Why haven't we seen him before now? Well, besides him being a character we first meet in high school, he's reached out now because Daisy has been sad and quiet, which from Abby's perspective is unusual behavior for her. Maybe he would have eventually talked to her on a regular day, but I feel it's a defining character moment for him to do it earlier because he's concerned. He wants to help people. He wants to help Daisy. He wants to he's gonna ask you how he wants to tap that. Lord Jesus. As we see here, literally the first thing Paulo does to Abbey is insinuate Abby's only helping in order to sleep with Daisy, which is a Paulo thing to do, especially at this time. As Abbey protests this claim, Paulo doubles down on it. Take note that Abbey isn't blushing or looking like he's been caught in a lie, so we can infer that he honestly is just trying to help. I am aware later on he would admit he had a crush on Daisy at this point, but I think we can safely assume his priorities lies with cheering Daisy up, not dating her, and certainly not betting her. Okay, we get that. I think we're all an unreliable writer. I think I've always said this. Teshi is really good at concepts, but not always the best at executing them. We also get the first indication of Abby's positive and sometimes pedestal placing views on women. Put the pin in this. We'll need it for later. Yeah, he does seem like I get why, because like his mom was abused, right? And so obviously he's going to be more sympathetic towards women. I mean, he kind of tries to help Mike a little bit, but he definitely has a shorter fuse with guys, and it could come off as a little bit.
It is a double standard. And
Yeah,
I've talked about I have talked about this before with one of the rants. If I can take a shot for every time I say that, but
you know what it could.
like the thing is that and it is something that it doesn't become really much of a problem until later on when he really starts to hammer on like Paolo, because it's trying to say like, yes, he's trying to grandstand and be like, oh, you men, you're womanizing these people. You were a bully. You were a boutful person. And I'm like, oh, you mean like Lucy, you know, or Tess, or any of those people, you know, once a bully, always a bully, except for women. And it really makes him come across as the world's biggest hypocrite and
Well, he's a simp.
and
He's just,
sexist.
it
Yeah.
comes off as someone that's saying whatever he can to get laid, basically. Like, you know, those guys that pretend to be
No, it's not.
feminists?
No,
Like,
it's not that. It's the like I'm not gonna put I'm not gonna put Abby down to that or
but it
to
could
that
come off
level.
as that, basically. Because, like,
But
he's
no,
only exclusively nice to girls.
no, it's more about trying to justify your own actions. It's him trying to be like, oh, yes, see, that's why I hate you. It's not because I'm jealous or because I have this double standard, but it's because you did this thing, you did that thing, you were this bad. Even though that counteracts like what you were doing about before. And it's not even necessarily about, to me, like that sort of thing, it changes it to where it feels less about sex and more about just Paolo, because he doesn't do this for anyone else. It's just him trying to justify why he's so upset with Paolo. And you know who would really be able to pin that down and break it to this level where he could maybe better understand what's really the problem? That maybe it's not that it's not just mistreatment of women, but maybe it is actually just him hating one person in particular, a therapist. But I guess they don't pay him that much, or
Respect
yeah.
respect women to the point you're violent. Paulo continues to antagonize him. In his defense, Fair Maiden is very much not a 2007 teenager thing to say, but that's just another character trait of Abby's we learned from this page. He speaks eloquently, too much so for a 15-year-old. I absolutely know teenage boys that would probably talk like this because they're like
Oh
nerds and
yeah,
they think it sounds like super
it makes them
refined.
sound smart and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any problems. I didn't
The
have any problems with it when at the time.
No, it's fine. The next scene is at lunchtime the following day. We get a few panels of Daisy trying to get over Mike, only to slump in her seat when Mike asks her help, her for help with homework. While later chapters may imply otherwise, Abbey isn't only there to help ladies. When he approaches the lunch table, he offers to help Mike with his homework. Once again, without any prompting, Paulo jumps to antagonizing Abbey. In a way to avoid divulging his history, Abbey explains his full name, Abraham, makes him feel 50 years older. Sorry, every time I played so much Tamagotchi Life now, every time I see this little speech bubble with like the frustration thing in it, I'm like, oh, I gotta click on that and help him. Yes, I'm going to include every instance of this. Abbey also tells David he doesn't respond to Abe because that is what his father responds to, with a particular glare that could be passed off as him still being annoyed with Paulo, but we readers learn later why the nickname was met with scorn. Ironically, Abbey is more likely to abuse women than Paulo. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just the typical incel thing, you know.
Paulo continues to kick Abbey when he's down, and Abbey is just about to go through with all that. He lets David do as he pleases. And Abbey is just about through with all that, and he lets David do as he pleases. He meets antagonism with antagonism, but as David is being David and not purposely malicious, Abbey lets his behavior go. I still think it's really funny that Abbey says his thoughts out loud. Other than him saying awkward at some points, he doesn't do this often. Anyway, Abbey's helper trait kicks in when he sees Lucy, and Lucy is as abrasive as ever. I know Abbey is well-meaning, but asking "Are you insecure?" is a hell of a thing to say to someone you just met.
Yeah, yeah.
Abbey starts to defend himself from Paulo's claims, but after a pause he simply gives up. That is until he gets the spring in his step back immediately when he sees Daisy smiling. You wouldn't believe he'd just been whacked in the head moments ago. So long as he's been helpful, all's well that ends well. Also, he touched Lucy without her permission. Like, you shouldn't touch
Mm.
people without their permission. Let's be real. Uh,
Uh, he
Finally, the
may have a
chapter
touch
ends.
autism.
What?
He may have a touch autism, you know.
I think they all got a touch of
Yeah.
autism. Finally, the chapter ends with letting us know Abbey does have a breaking point. So on to the next chapter. Just kidding. If I'm going to do this properly, I'm going to break down the important things we need to know about Abbey and his characterization leading up to Guest of Honor. That way, we can truly understand why it damaged his character the way it did. Also, I feel this way is more efficient than doing a deep dive of every single chapter with Abbey in it. I'm going to split this into different concepts.
Coward.
What?
No, I was just saying coward.
Oh,
You do
dude,
every chapter.
this
Fuck
would
it.
be
Yeah.
1,000,000
Fuck it,
pages
we
long.
ball. Fuck it, we ball.
1,000,000 pages long. One, Abby and Daisy bond over. Okay, we already talked about their bonding. Abby helps and defends women. He sees a need. Abby worries about becoming his father. Paulo frequently antagonizes Abby without prompt. Abby has developed a negative perspective of Paulo. In order to make my point on how Guest of Honor misuses these commandments, I am only using evidence up to that chapter. I am calling them commandments because I'm technically Catholic and I think it's a little funny. Without further
Mm.
ado, let's start with point number one. Abby and Daisy bond over school and typical nerdy activities. So what are you planning on doing? What are you planning? Wait, so what are you planning this summer, Abby? They're skipping me to pre-calc, so I have a lot of preparation to do. Maybe if we could find a time. Yeah, but Abby doesn't really respond to that, right? That's just Daisy talking at him. Mischief Night, just pointing out they're hanging out together in Halloween costumes. This will be relevant later. Uh, and then, of course, we have feline festivities, which is one of the best chapters in the comic, I will say. Not because Sue's there, but it is a big part of it. Daisy assists with and literally takes over Abby's presidential campaign when he's unable to continue his debate. You know what I'm saying, folks? I think Joe and Trump could have used the Daisy on their team. If you know what I'm saying. That's topical. Uh, let's see. Daisy and Abby share multiple classes together and both in honors or higher. Once again, this will be useful later. They are watching media. Media. Yeah, this is when Lucy
That's
goes
a
away.
gallery. Yeah.
Wow, that's the chunkiest Daisy we've ever seen.
No, I still say no. The guest of honor Daisy is still ginormous.
Daisy, first woman president. Let's go for sure. I'm with her. Was Abby's dad an alcoholic or was that just Augustus? No, Abby's dad
Oh
was
yeah.
he was
We didn't see
adulterer.
him like drink anything. He
Yeah,
just was just angry as far as as far as the comics showed us. That
he,
would probably be more, yeah, Augustus's
yeah.
parents.
Abby and Daisy cheerily discuss the results of their exams. Abby defends and helps women he sees in need. This is more of it's the principal example, as the danger Abby speaks of is not what the actual danger ends up being. Katie swallows spikes. When David says he spiked up the punch, Abby takes it by its social meaning of putting alcohol in the punch for partygoers to unknowingly drink, typically with the goal of getting women inebriated. We learn shortly after that David meant putting in thorns. That being said, there was a girl in need, but the scene changes before we really see Abby react, other than him being worried for her. See, under pressure, Abby rushes to Tess's aid when she's pinned down by an angry student. At this point in the story, we know Tess used to be a school bully, and the only other people privy to this information are Augustus and Daisy. Abby doesn't know about Tess's past at this point. He simply sees her in need and punches the assailant. He doesn't even care about the possibility of being expelled if it means he was able to help her. This will be relevant later, but this is also the only time Abby smiles when he does this. It's not until he's trying to get the guy to get up and leave. Wait. It's not until he's trying to get the guy to get up and leave. I think it's a little weird, but I need to acknowledge that it's there. Oh wow, look at him. He's got the evil smile on his face. This is true. Let's see. Abby sees Tess in need here because she feels she deserves whatever happened to her, and we know from Abby's past that he does not want to see someone looking so afraid. We also see Abby's biases here, as he just grimaces when he learns Tess's past grievances. Never said he wasn't a hypocrite, haha. He also helps her by telling Tess to open up to the rest of their friends, even if it is gradual, and does a rare solid for Paula by vouching that he'd understand Tessa's situation. After Jay's open display of aggression towards Tess during the pep rally, Abbey disappears and returns with a bruise on his shoulder. From what we've seen of him already, it's easy to put two and two together. Oh wow, I didn't even notice that. Like obviously he beat him up. I didn't even notice the bruise on his shoulder. That's crazy. Uh, it's easy to put two. We see Jay looking pretty beat up as Abby glares at him from a distance. As far as the scouting around, though, that's more about Augustus, which is why Abby found Tess and was apparently able to find Jay. Abby has been paying more attention to Daisy lately because he is concerned Augustus is manipulating her, and when he witnesses Katie humiliate her in front of the unpopular girls. When he witnesses Katie, forgetting he had plans, he drops everything to console Daisy and refute Katie's claims. Unfortunately, Abby, forgetting his plans, bites him in the ass, and Daisy runs off, leaving Abby wrongfully infuriated with the guys he's meeting with. Put a pin in this for another section. Are you sure this isn't literally every single time Abby does this in the comic? Jesus. Continuing from the previous example of Daisy's plight, something else Abby has noticed is that Daisy specifically wants Mike's attention and sees no reason why, as a friend, Mike can't give it to her. That is, until he makes the kind of correct assumption that Mike only pays attention to people he might have some sort of interest in, such as his girlfriend Sandy or his situation with Lucy. I say kind of correct because when Abby tells Mike she feels abandoned, he immediately jumps into thinking Abby wants to make him to make a romantic gesture. But as later chapters show, Mike is kind of caught in his own world and doesn't really pay attention to others regardless of romantic intent. See link play, which I won't link since it's post guest of honor and doesn't involve Abby. We all know this scene, but in case you don't, Daisy's plan to get Mike to fall for her fails miserably, and when she flees her date, she finds Augustus, the guy who encouraged her to act this way and seemed to know it was doomed from the start. Humiliated and backed into a corner, Daisy believes her actions warrant Augustus forcing himself on her, only to be stopped by Abby, who Augustus seemed to also know was there. But I mean, gestures at the title of the section. And no, Abby wasn't tailing Daisy, he was following Augustus, as explained in the next page. Abby gets Augustus to back off from Daisy, and Abby promptly punches him when Augustus denies manipulating Daisy, claiming this is what she wanted. Further analysis of this scene is in the next section. At loose ends, two things I feel are worth noting here is that the girl in question is his sister, and there's been a significant gap between the last time we saw Abbey resort to violence to protect someone. This is also an event that takes place in the past, so we can assume that Augustus's words stuck out to him and he calmed down for a while. Abbey worries about becoming his father. Directly after the events described in the previous section for this chapter, Abbey yells at Paulo and Mike for making Daisy run off. It's not their fault, and Abbey realizes he's overreacted when he sees Mike shaken up from his yelling. Paulo calls him a bully, and Abbey's ears sink as he says, "Never mind, let's just go." Let's see. As covered previously, Abbey follows Augustus to the carnival. Let's see, I'm with her. Is it PTSD or just an excuse to be violent? I think it's because I think Abbey feels like he doesn't want to feel like he doesn't have control, right? When his dad was abusing his mom, he had no way to fight back, and now that he's fighting with people that are on his level, he's like, I must do this because I have the ability to help. It's like, you guys ever seen The Amazing Spider-Man, the one with Andrew Garfield? And Uncle Ben is like, your father believed that if somebody needed help, he had the moral responsibility to help those people, basically. And that's what Abbey follows on. Let's see. As covered previously, Abbey follows Augustus to the carnival and pulls Augustus away when Augustus tries to forcibly kiss Daisy. Irked by being called his father's name and infuriated at the insinuation that Daisy wanted to be treated this way, Abbey punches Augustus only to be told his behavior is akin to someone else. Abbey, of course, is shocked to be compared to him and questions about how Augustus knows his father. Turns out Augustus knows quite a bit and uses it to his advantage. As an angry Abbey lifts his fist again, Augustus claims, what? What's up? Right. Comparatives. Turns out Augustus advantage. Someone else. Abbey is of course shocked compared to his father. Turns out Augustus knows quite a bit and uses this to his advantage. As an angry Abbey lifts his fist again, Augustus claims Abbey is no better than his father, and it's enough to totally immobilize Abbey. Turns out Augustus has watched Abbey enough to know what buttons to press. I'm including Daisy slapping him because it's satisfying. Back to Abbey, he's literally having a nervous breakdown and apologizing to his late mother for his behavior. Daisy has to calm him down and bring him back to reality. I think it's safe to say this is not the path Abbey wants to go down. Let's see. Yeah, but he's quick to punch people because that's kind of what he grew up with also, right? I don't think it's PTSD. I think there is a part of what he saw his dad do that subconsciously put itself in his mind as this is how you get control of a situation, right? He doesn't want to be that way. He just doesn't know how to control his frustration in a way that doesn't result in him punching somebody. Like Abbey feels so strongly about protecting women from predatory guys that it's just like everything goes out the window. It's like the idea, I think. Back to Abbey, he's literally having a nervous breakdown. Oh yeah, okay. This is an event that takes place in the past and puts Abbey's nervous breakdown into more perspective. The comparison Molly makes to their dad stings harder because, based on how young they are, the abuse Abraham dealt with was much more recent. Seeing Molly frightened by his emotional response, followed by briefly imagining his mother in the same place, terrifies Abbey. When Augustus antagonized him in Love My Way, he has a nervous breakdown. That might have been the second time he'd ever been called out that way, and he might be envisioning his mom again. Also, Janet Stefani moments. Who is Stefani? Is that actually her last name? Or is this like a reference to the woman? Hold up. I don't Janet Stefani. I don't know if someone knows if that's a reference to something, let me know. Realistically, he'd have a wrangler if he was prone to violence, especially in school. Yeah, but no one ever sees that, right? Abbey always, all this stuff happens when there are no adults around, so the story can't resolve itself. Abbey actually shares the insecurity he feels about his behavior very clearly, instead of having to infer like things I have, is having to infer like I have been. He makes it clear that he has doubts and embarrassment about how he goes about doing things. The next time we see this kind of perspective through Abbey himself before Guest of Honor is never. The next time we see it afterward is not until High Expectations in 2018. The end of the bathroom scene in Guest of Honor was September 7th, 2015, leaving 2 years until we get some sort of deeper perspective from Abbey. This will be important later. This goes back to this comic moves at a glacial pace, and even though, and I talk about this in my 3-year anniversary video that I haven't recorded yet, but even though it's 2 years in our time, in the universe of the comic, it's only like a couple of months at most. It's probably closer to a couple of weeks when those things happen. Okay, Amazil said he'll be back. Why is this person sending me sus? Why are you sending this? I don't even want to engage. Should I just block this person? Nope. Okay. Yep. Come on. All right. Let's see. This will be important later. One of the fewer lighthearted interactions between the two, Paulo shows off his mistletoe headband and then insults Abbey. Not pictured as Abbey for some reason watching Paulo fail his attempts to use it. Wow. Lighthearted moments. Obviously, Abbey was being facetious here. We're gonna take some time. Let Amazil 357. We're gonna take a little bit of a pause so Amazil can come back. We're gonna look at some more comic edits until he does. So let's see what we got going on here. Let's see. I never fucking wanted it. Oh yeah, look at this. Uh-oh. He left for more coffee? Yeah, maybe. Let's see, fit the screen. Look at this. This is funny. And Amaya's just hanging out in the background while she's screaming, dude. Hold up. How do I... There we go. Hey, there we go. Look at that. It's a little funny. It's a little funny, guys. You gotta admit. It's a bit of a gaffe. Let's see, what else do we got here? What is this? Oh no, this is another JoJo one. I don't know nothing about JoJo. Oh, this shit right here. Yo, he's going mental. Look at this frog, dude. Look at his boy. Oh my god, this one right here. Hold on, let me just. Where is screen? Yeah. Look at this. This whole ass thing just for this. That's so funny. And then Mike does it. Can you believe Mike just did this? Freaking crushed Daisy's pudding, little pudding with the sprinkles. By the way, it's been a long time since I've been to school, but I swear I've eaten these puddings before. I can still taste them. It's like a phantom taste. Based on what? Abby, come here. At least your Oh, there's a lot of these. At least your mother fucking loved you. Yo, I'm pretty sure Agent's gonna be talking about this once we get to that part in the. No! That would have been after Guest of Honor.
I'm
Maybe.
back. What's going on?
We were making fun of this. At least your mother fucking loved you page edits that people make for
Oh,
Bisabi.
fucking. Yeah, it's God, I fucking hate that.
Let's see. We are at Rising Temperature after working together with Mike to write Paulo's entire book report. Paulo thanks him, but not without insinuating he's normally useless, a fruitcake, and calling Abby Abraham, a name he knows Abby dislikes, even if he doesn't know the weight it carries. In case I need to specify, fruitcake is a derogatory term for someone whom the speaker considers a flamboyant gay man. European meetings attribute it to madness like someone who is crazy, but it still reiterates the American sentiment at the time that gay men were mentally ill. Paulo is essentially a step short from calling Abby the F slur. The term unfortunately regained popularity in the 2000s. If you have the time and curious for mention, this is a good article about it. What is this article?
What?
How did fruitcake become a slur? Yeah, well there you go. The I don't know if Paulo meant. I think Paulo was just calling him gay. I don't think he
Yeah.
meant to say that Abby was mentally ill. But this is the
Yeah.
context, right? Hey, Shine Studios. You've never eaten a pudding from school in your entire life every Christmas?
Same. I mentioned that before. No, I think that was one of the written ones, but like yeah, that always like seemed weird to me. I'm like, what do you mean? You people get dessert at in school? What the fuck are you talking about? My dessert was if they had any fucking strawberry milk left or fruit and like
Wait,
just
this
regular
is a good
frozen
question.
fruits.
How did I need to look at the report raid?
Huh?
We had someone named Shaquille O'Neal join the we had a Sundari Cat and a Shaquille O'Neal join our Discord. And Sundari Cat immediately started sending me pictures of Jasmine, but extremely thick. So, um,
Uh,
let's see. This is the most we've ever
did
seen
you say
Paulo in.
thanks?
Did I say? Did I say thanks? Did I get down and give
You
grace for
must give
the thick
thanks.
cake that I've been sent?
It is a
The
clear
etch
gift.
the yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's kind of a strange thing to just start sending to somebody you just met. What if I wasn't 18 yet? I could pass off as a 16-year-old. I could still do it if I
Um,
shaved. Uh, which I meant to do before the stream and then I didn't. This is the most we ever see Paul and Abby get along, but even then, it's prompted by Paulo giving Abby what's implied to be a gay porn DVD for his birthday. Actually, this is a VHS tape. This entire Google Doc is ruined. Everything about I can't trust anything you say anymore. This is a VHS tape. Have we really gotten to that point? Do kids these days not know what VHS is?
uh, they might because of Red Letter Media, but
I think how many kids watch Red Letter Media? That's for boomers.
hey, nah, it's in vogue. There's still a there are people that still quote it enough times that it will probably linger on to the next generation.
Uh, He just gives
With
him
your help, at least.
How did Paul? By the way, this is what I'm trying to figure out, right? How did Paulo get his hands on a? How did someone who's 14 at the time of this chapter get his hands on a gay porn DVD or VHS? Shit, it's got me saying it. Like, did his dad have this like somewhere? Did he go to a store and like steal it? It's just like it's not even in a case. It's just like an open VHS. Like the magazine kind of made sense, right? But like I don't understand the VHS thing.
And
Uh,
also, like, with that, even I don't know. Maybe he found the like. I don't know if you've have you heard about the porn stashes, like in the woods.
what in the what are you
There's
talking about, dude? What the hell?
so I've heard. I don't do this, or I've never seen it, but I've heard people like joke about how like back in the day before the internet, they'd have to hide their porn, and so as kids, like they would go out into the woods and like plant it in like some like little nook. And so I'm thinking like maybe he found like someone else's stash.
I think
It's
we're
like,
getting
yeah,
raided,
there we go.
but
That's
sounds
the only thing
base.
that makes sense. And it doesn't even make that much sense. Sorry, what?
Whatever. I have to moderate and reference general mic posted. Okay. Let's see. Enough talking about gay porn. This comic has enough gay porn, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, Paul sees Abby, and his first instinct is to call him a fruitcake. Yeah, you know it's ironic because Paul is the one pretending to be Edward fucking Cullen from goddamn Twilight. So you know who's the real
Yeah.
fruitcake. Uh, and then he puts his feet on it. Look how long his fucking legs are, dude. Do you realize
That's not
how long your legs would have to be to reach over your desk all the way to someone else's desk like that?
Look, there are tiny desks, okay. But
I don't know, dude. That his legs be kind of long.
yeah,
I'm just
that's
saying.
fair. I still like that's not even the worst that's not even the worst art decision in that chapter. Or the next page is where we get the next page is where we get the class of lopped off arms. Okay,
Wait,
I'm not
yeah,
forgiving
but
that.
that's not that big of a deal. Hold
They
up.
look like
We're
they
gonna look at
all sacrifice their arms, their
Zach.
forearms.
All right, we're gonna look at it. This?
No, the bottom, or no, the next one. Yeah, there,
Where?
the top there,
This?
there. See, Lucy and Daisy. It's perfectly slumped, and then on the bottom, it's even worse
I I
because
don't understand. They all.
no,
Oh, you
see,
mean you
like
can't see the rest of their arm, is what you're saying?
yeah, they lopped off
Oh.
their
Yeah,
forearms.
it kind of right.
Oh god,
Mike's and Abby's look
yeah,
especially bad. It's not.
yeah,
I mean,
because you can like with the top ones, like you could maybe hide it, like it's a bit more excusable. But there, like because of the perspective, it should be on the desk, but you don't see it on the desk.
yeah. I mean, eh. I mean, she has no arms there. Mike is
But
just a head. He doesn't even have shoulders.
that's just that was the style at the time.
Oh, now it's the style at the time. Well, the armless bandits have always kind of been a BCB staple.
Yeah, but the lopping off their forearm specifically is new.
All right. Let's see. And then of course, you know, they're playing around throwing some snowballs. Tess is badass and catches one in her hand. It's crazy. Uh, and then he's laughing because Abby got freaking owned by Daisy. Paulo bursts out laughing when Abby is hurt and is embarrassed when he realizes he's the only one laughing. Yeah.
Because that's how you learn what's right and wrong.
But then he keeps doing it forever. Uh, Abby, it was meant to be from me. Keep dreaming, fruitcake. Okay, so this whole section, there's a hell of a lot to unpack here. Please trust that I will do it later in the doc. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but like he's overall doing the right thing. It's kind of like with December where Mike was like in the right, but the way he executed it was the worst way to do it. Like Paul is in the right here, but he's executing it in the worst way.
Not necessarily. I think because like this is again like full context. This is like at the tail end of the chapter, and he'd been working all this time. He'd been listening to Daisy. He's trying his best to make this shit work, and now the one thing that's stopping him is Abby being too stubborn and not willing to accept this. It's like, stop being a fucking ass. Like, just be happy for once in your goddamn life. I've always mentioned this. Like, this was the scene that made me like BCB again. This was the part where I'm like, yes, we are so back. It's Joe back, baby.
For Barack, yeah, but was it back forever? Because I think you don't read it anymore, right?
Well, I mean, that's what the whole like Paolo show rant is about. Was that whole say all those chapters were great, and how we're getting it's a return to form, and then and then at the end it's like, but of course the problem with this is that none of it sticks, and all these chapters, the best chapters in Bittersweet Candy Bowl, can just be considered filler, because that's what it was.
By the way, when I think wasn't the last chapter we read for the read stream was Double Down, wasn't it?
No, I think
Or
we.
was it like right before Link Play? No, I think it was
I,
Double Down.
yeah, I was double dead, or at least I don't remember reading track meet.
It's been only 5
So
chapters. It's only 5 chapters have passed since we stopped.
no, yeah, I mean that's like,
I mean, sure they
so
had some intermissions, but
so like you've seen. I mean, I'm sure that someone's noticed that like the rants have really slowed down, but like last year when I did, I think it was last year was Eternal Flame, I believe, and I remember like when I did that, I was like, okay, let's go to the next one. I was like, oh shit, we're like only 2 chapters away from the canon. If we keep going like with the rapid fire rants and doing two, like we're going to catch up.
alright, this
That's
guy's getting
so
banned.
fucking awful. Uh,
Yeah, Shaquille O'Neal's. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's too late now, Shaquille. You're Jover. How do I? Why can't I ban this person? See, mod view. Oh, actually, I'm just gonna kick him out.
uh,
Saw that. Did it work? Is he gone? What did I miss? I need to figure out where these people got the link. Hold up. How do
I
I?
mean, you can check on your settings to see active links.
Yeah,
And
server
which ones to give
settings.
the
What
link.
is it under? Audit log?
Uh, I don't know. I don't look at that stuff.
Let's see.
Oh boy, the notifications. We can see them.
Created an
I
invite.
think.
Squilly created an invite? When did uh-huh. Interesting. Well, anyway, uh, in the description of the stream, I'm watching the stream. Oh my God, he's back. What did I miss in the description of the stream? He's back. Yeah, I see that. Alright, I'm really sorry, Shaquille. I know, you're just, look, I'm gonna ban you, and if you can prove to me that you're not here to troll, actually, you know what? I'm gonna time you out, uh, for a day. And if you can prove,
One more game. One more time.
sorry, Okay. Back on it. Sorry about that, guys. Why would Paulo accuse Abby of trying to get with Daisy and also call him gay? Because he's just using gay as an insult.
Yeah,
I mean that was the style. You want to talk about the style at the time? Shit. People were using gay as an insult. Like that's just what people did. Just like they used the word retarded as an insult. Like that's just how it was at the time.
still do.
I mean
There's the style at the
people still
time.
do it, but not to the same not to the
It's
degree.
real, yeah.
At least well no. So I go to a lot of schools for photography, so I do know that at least in some places the kids still like use gay kind of as an insult.
Yeah, but
I
it's
like
like, but we are aware of
yeah,
it,
we're
and
things are a little
it's
bit more
weaning out.
aware.
This is how society grows, okay? Slowly but surely.
Remember when Paulo called Mike the F slur? Yeah, that was in the original version of oh god, the one where they went to the beach, Acapulco. He says, "You mean I have to? I'm stuck with this F word." What I think is like the overreaction to him having to sleep with like be with Mike. I feel like the original text is a little bit funnier. I'm
Yeah.
not condoning using the F word. I'm just saying it's funnier in the context of it.
Yeah.
Uh, by the way, we're gonna keep going for till the stream hits like 3 hours and 30 minutes, which is about 12 minutes from now.
Oh my.
Yeah, we've been going for a while. I mean, half of the stream was me waiting for you, but that's okay. That was on me. Um, let's see. Abby has developed a negative perspective of Paulo. Abby at this point has taken note of Paulo loving ladies, and as McCain puts it, calls him a hormonal imbecile, not a very glowing review. Abby, already jaded towards Paulo as early as chapter 34, gives Paulo a warning to clean up his act. Abby is concerned that Daisy is not acting like herself and worries that Augustus may be behind it. Paulo, who hasn't done much to get on Abby's good side, now begs Abby for his help in a book report and notes that his first choice of Daisy is moot as he says, "You know, who knows where the hell she's been." As you can see, Abby takes it as Paulo viewing Daisy only as a means to an end and refuses to help. However, Paulo makes him budge by playing on his helpfulness, aka always being the nice guy, and with Mike offering to mediate, Abby begrudgingly accepts to let them come to his house, which he did not offer. Paulo's first thought upon hearing Abby has a sister is asking if she's hot, which does no favors for Abby's perception of Paulo. Abby was prepared to help put Paulo's thoughts into words, only to learn Paulo had no thoughts on the books whatsoever, because he didn't read either. The following page has his report being printed, and Abby complaining that Paulo didn't write a single word. Word of God confirmed. The hell? Uh, Paulo confirms. Where was I? Oh God. God, oh, the word of God confirms the report was a group effort between Abby and Mike. And to think Abby, as pointed out earlier, Paulo says he's not so useless after all and calls him a fruitcake. Oh, and calls him by his father's name too. Abby and Mike's conversation indicates how Abby has already developed a negative perception of Paulo and how it's been stewing since at least this chapter. Uh,
Turn off your notifications.
Sorry. Oh yeah, I need to re-enable streamer mode, which I don't know how to do. You know what? I'm just gonna go on do not disturb. Sorry. Uh, Abby is shown judging Paulo for his role in the pardon the pun cat fight. Not too much else to add because focus is more on him disappointing Daisy. This is a good indicator of when Abby starts to shift into defense mode, but even so, it's not that prominent until later. Gives him the stink eye. Look at that. Abby argues with Paulo about underage drinking, and based on the last panel, Paulo is not taking it as seriously as Abby.
Oh, so I do want to point this out because this is since he's bringing up happy hour, that is one thing that made me really, or made me think like that's kind of out of character for Paolo specifically, was when he offered Daisy a drink. I'm like, wait, what the fuck you mean? Why would no? I don't feel like Paolo would do that. It like yeah, he's more aloof about it, but he holds Daisy to a higher standard because he kind of thinks that she, or at least like wants he is kind of protective of Daisy. I've always said this like the dynamic between Paolo and Daisy, in my opinion, like works best or is more comes across as like a big brother little sister sort of dynamic. And
Yeah,
so it does feel weird and so it felt very weird and out and kind of out of character for Paolo to offer Daisy alcohol at the party. I'm like, what? No.
but he had been drinking though, so he's a little bit tipsy. He's not thinking
Yeah,
straight.
it's as the court would say, being drunk is not an excuse.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. It clouded his judgment.
It's just weird.
Oh, by the way, I like pointing this out because it's really funny to me, but Paulo didn't start liking men until he kissed Abby. Just saying.
Uh,
What did Teshi mean by this?
Homosexuality is a virus and it is contagious.
So you are agreeing that Abby is
Abby is
indeed a
gay,
fruitcake,
yes. The sooner that he accepts this, the sooner that he will be happy.
but how will Abby and Jasmine be together then?
They don't because Jasmine deserves better.
Oh, that you know what? I've kind of grown to like that little ship. The giant kitty made me a believer. Let's see.
It could work only if like they are actual characters, but it doesn't really fit. But it's just too like blatantly we have two characters that were in relate. We have this character who we only ever utilize with his relationship in Abbey, and and also Jasmine also only ever is useful in the story in the story sense when she is in her relationship with when she was in her relationship with Paolo, and now we have them and they're no longer in a relationship with anyone and we don't know what to do. Well, we'll just put them in a relationship with each other. There you go.
Yeah, the plot devices, the narrative cocksleeves could do that together. Once again, subtly hinting that Abby's got a deeper problem with Paulo as he turns Daisy away from him. It's about to become relevant real fast. Now onto the third course of the doc, aka the thing you've been patiently waiting for, I hope. How guests of honor ruined things for Abby.
Oh, thank goodness.
We're only 54 pages in of 164? Wait, was this
You're
was
not done yet.
171 pages.
What?
That wait, something was edited. This was
I,
171 pages before.
the world is shifting before your very
Yeah,
eyes.
what's happening here? I have a copy of it. It's still 171 pages.
So not
No, it's
everything.
178 here. What is happening?
The world is moving. You
Why
have
is
no
it
control here. You're
different?
not. Yeah,
What?
I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
Oh, we're just gonna continue forward with this version of it. All right. Let's see. How Guests of Honor assassinated Abby's character. This section should be shorter than the rest, as I just gave you a plethora of examples to back up what I'm about to talk about.
Ooh.
I'm going to quickly summarize the chapter if you need a refresher, and then detail the parts that are in conflict with what I presented with you thus far. I'll then show the damage done as a result of the chapter. Finally, I'll highlight some ways the Abbey and Paulo conflict could have been handled differently, because I feel it'd be silly to ignore it that the conflict is being set up and unfair to not provide an alternative after dissecting it. I agree.
Mhm.
On to the summary. Guests of honor starts with Daisy, who cannot go to the anime convention to get her book signed unless she brings a friend with her. She's too embarrassed to ask Abby, and Rachel was too busy to make it, so she then asks Paulo, who agrees without knowing what she meant that she meant this was an immediate event. The two enjoy their time at the convention and later run into Mike, Sue, Abby, and the rest of the Swordsvale gaming group. Paulo breaks off from the group to go to the bathroom, and it's there that Abby confronts him by slamming him by the neck against the stall. Paulo is shaken up and goes home, but Daisy follows him since he's the one who took her to the convention. She tries to thank him with a hug, but a shaken Paulo dodges her and leaves. So there's the quickest summary of the chapter. If you need more info than that, you can reread it, but again, I'm going to only cover what I feel was messed up. Question number 1. How come the Eric characters don't act like how they acted before? No. Uh, no nerd Daisy's too embarrassed to ask no nerd Abby to go to convention with her. Why? Keep in mind, at literally the start of the page, Paulo makes fun of her. So the worst thing Abby could have said was already done by Paulo. The actual in-story reason Daisy didn't ask Paulo is this, or Abby is this. Uh, let's see. She didn't want him to think she was a huge nerd. We can see from this page, at least, that perhaps Daisy felt that Abby's having plans made it too awkward to ask to talk about the convention. But based on this conversation with Paulo, Daisy's concern isn't with overriding Abby's SAT plans. It's Abby thinking she's a huge nerd, but making intense study sessions over the SAT isn't. Okay, here's the thing. There is a difference between being the school nerd and like the anime nerd. Like those things kind of they can coincide with each other often, but
Mhm.
they're not the same kind of nerd. Let's be real.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a different context, but like the the one thing that I will agree with it on is that um it is it's what we mentioned like way back in the beginning is that the um the way that it kind of goes about it, like it really does seem like they don't share anything with each other because it's not even because uh not only is Daisy not being upfront about like her interests, but Abby's not in up never apparently didn't tell her about his interests. And it's a bad dynamic, which I get, which is kind of what leads into the next chapter, or no, or no. Well, it kind of leads into like the somewhat the false resolution in the chapter where they're like, "Oh, you like these things too." Oh, well, silly we were. Um, but yeah, it is that I think that is where the real problem is, or where the real incongruity with it is. Because I mean, Daisy, kind of overthinking and uh want and wanting to not be seen as like a big nerd, like that's just normal. That hap
Yeah.
We've seen that in Daisy a number of times.
I don't know.
So
It's just
I
kind
get
of a
that dynamic.
stretch because it's a little bit of a stretch because of how much of a nerd Abby is, but like I get it. It look, this has to happen because the drama has to happen. That's the reason it has to happen this way. Even if it doesn't make
Of
total
course.
sense, it's like with confrontation. There's so many plot holes with that chapter. It's like, well, why did all these things had to perfectly align for the drama to happen? Now, is the drama worth all those sort of contrivances? That's up to the reader to decide. Remember when Mike and Lucy played video games together? Yeah. I mean, I won't go into the whole confrontation thing. We got to be focused on this, but it's there. I mean, I made a video about it. The old versus new confrontation chapter comparison video. Please pardon the
Mhm.
later example, but Daisy is shown to not be stopped by them being busy or having plans to suggest for them to do stuff. First, plan. Wait. Daisy is shown to not be stopped by them being busy or having plans to suggest stuff for them to do, so that potential argument is out. Now, here's the thing. I'm a bit I'm a bit on the sort of on the fence about using BCIs as like evidence for stuff because they're technically not canon. I think
Yeah.
I think suit I was told that Suitcase said some of them were canon. I think Everyday Life is one of the canon ones, but without actually, because this used to be a chapter in the comic. That's the thing.
Mhm.
Without getting actual confirmation from Teshi or Suitman himself, preferably Teshi, because she did this. Without her specifically saying this BCI is canon, we're gonna have to assume it's not canon.
Well, okay, so I touched on this in, I think it was the, what was it? The one where the retread chapter where it was like another version where Lucy goes onto Augustus's bus and takes a ride there. In that, so when I covered that rant, I laid it out, but my my ethics on using the BCIs, at least for the rants and stuff, is that anything I shouldn't, it's not worth bringing up because for one reason only, if I have any knowledge about something, like it should be, if there's anything that I need to compare like the comic to within the comic, it has to be something that's within the canon, or I mean specifically on the website. It can't be like, I don't like using the BCIs, if only because that's stuff that the average viewer, the person that is just getting into or is you know just casual reading, they're not going to read the BCIs. They won't know anything about those. And so anything that is in there that, if it's something that is in the BCI that is relevant to whatever is happening in the canon, if it is worth or relevant to that, that it should have been in the web in the full comic. It shouldn't be like an exclusive. It shouldn't be locked up. If it's actually integral into learning like why a character is doing something, then it shouldn't be locked away. And that's the way that I would treat it, just for the sake of fairness, because otherwise other people just won't fucking know. Oh, and it would be absurd to ask people to, yes, you have to pay the money and go into the BCIs and dig into this in order to, if you want to understand why this character is doing the thing. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't have to.
Let's see, Abbey Death by Snoo Snoo. Yeah, he wishes. Hey Techno, Alejandro's never coming back. Yeah, he will. I think he will.
I'd hope so, if only just so that we can have some resolution to that, because it would be so fucking lame to like to just be like, oh, or to like forget about him or something, or like even if it's like a non-climax, like we come back and it turns out, and I guess, and Alejandro like got himself arrested off screen, like that's still something at least. But like he has his hands in so many pies, especially with the fact that Augustus is become more of a character and more of an integral part of the cast. it's it would be a disservice to them, and also like how obviously the way that he has the effect he has over Lucy, like to just not resolve that issue at all would be uh legitimately insulting and a complete and utter waste of time. I don't think Teshi would do that, especially with how much she's been setting it up.
Well, Amazil, we've been down that primrose path before, haven't we? But we are 3.5 hours into this stream, and
Mm.
I know time flies when you're malding about the funny cat comic. Uh,
Well, I'm reading. Well, you're reading someone malding about the cat comic.
No, well, I mean we're kind of we're on the same page. I would say I'm pretty much on the same page with everything Agent has said so far. What are your thoughts on everything that that she's said?
I don't know. Honestly, like a lot of it seems to. So, I'm gonna kind of pick on the. I just don't really follow the structure of this because I'm kind of thrown off by the structure at least. Like again, it's unfair to do this, but I kind of feel the need to. But like comparatively compared to like the rant structure that I use, um, like the whole thing about those is that it's stream of consciousness. You know, you have one through line, and you just follow that thread until the end. And here it's a bit overly descriptive. Like there's a lot of setups. Like it's it I and I'm not even necessarily a bad thing, but it does kind of ruin it. It makes it a bit weird for me to kind of really get behind is with the way that this whole thing has been structured because is like it's like a executive document or something where it's like, yeah, we're going to be talking about this, that, and the other, and now here's this happening, this and that and the other, and it feels a bit redundant at times. I
I
do think I'm not even too sure. The problem here is that there's so much setup, and I don't feel like we've really gotten to the real conclusion or what they're really trying to say. Because that's what I'm looking for. I don't really for like what is this like how does it like yes we're under we like there's we spend so much time like talking about and showing like Abby's behavior beforehand, things that's happened before, that it kind of muddles um, the overall point or what that's supposed to be, for at least for me. Uh, so I can't really, so that I can't really, you know, um, react properly or give my full opinion on it. I don't feel like I've really seen enough of this to really say one way or the other. I do think that yeah, I mean I'm sure that it will. I'm sure that whatever it is, it's at at least on the thesis statement. Like I agree that yeah, guest of honor really did destroy was basically a hit job for for Abby, yeah, and also his relationship with Daisy. But yeah,
well,
and
it's
I'm
like
I'm not gonna blame him.
it
Yeah.
is like December. Like it's like now we have to show Abby is in the wrong. We have to do it so hard that it balances out all the things Paulo did. Basically, that's the
Yeah.
idea.
Well, I
It,
think the
so
idea
instead of
was
doing
that
that like over time, it's just like immediately. It's like boom. There
yeah.
go the bomb has gone off now. Surprise.
Yeah, and it's just it really didn't need that. It really should could have what's interesting though, like and this could also just for clarification, this could all be revisionist history because it's what I've always said, like the rewrites are fucking disastrous for this. Um,
I
in
think
what I realized,
to some
well, wait,
degree, I think there are certain things that she rewrote that I was like, yeah, I understand why you rewrote this. Whether the dialogue's a little bit too clunky or there's some stuff in there that makes the characters look like really bad. Like I mentioned before, Paulo straight up says he's going to molest Lucy. Uh,
yeah. No, but like I specifically want to bring up because in the Paolo when I was doing the Paolo show rant and I had to reread all those chapters, like there's specifically in the chapter that's where I forget what the hell the name was, but it's the one. It's Tess's last chapter, or the last adventure, there's like little hints about Abby and Daisy's relationship not really being completely solid. Like he's kind of like Daisy's like trying to
It's
like, hey
scenic
Abby,
route.
why don't you do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
here, let me pull it up.
yeah. There's a bit where Daisy's like, yeah, they're like Dabby's just being kind of dismissive, like he's not really in it, and he's kind of like there's little sweet bits, but it's like a little sign that things aren't necessarily great between them, which is to set I which in credit where credit's due, that really does kind of set up or lead into golden hour. But what I meant with like the revisionist history and the rewrites kind of messing it is that I don't know if this is a rewrite. I can't tell. I don't have the original versions of this,
But
so I
I
can't
do.
compare. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, like other things,
Would this
it's
have
just
been rewritten?
it
Because it
might
was
have.
late
That's the thing. I
enough
don't know.
into the
I don't.
comic.
I wouldn't put it past her because I know that I'm sure that there's points where Teshi's gone back and been like, I'm going to, where she's changed like emotions and stuff in order to better sell like a message or the message that they want to send. So it could have been like they were happy and stuff, but then realized like, wait a second, they're too happy. That doesn't work because I thought they're supposed to be on the rocks or whatever,
No, I
and
mean,
we're
it looks
still
the
supposed to be
same to
shaky.
me.
I don't know.
I'm looking at
It
the
could
book
be.
right now, and I guess the book would have
Yeah,
been the rewrite, I suppose, but
yeah. But yeah, that's just what I was meaning is that I don't know, and that's the one problem about rewriting so many parts of this is that you can't really tell which one's part real, which is worth it, and blah.
right. Well,
But anyway, yeah.
I think this is good so far. Like, it is important to put all that stuff down. Like, when I did the date night video, I literally went down basically what Agent did, and I explained everything that had already been established, so I could explain why the second half of date night just completely obliterates everything that had already been established, and why it doesn't work, and why it makes no sense, and why it's annoying and frustrating. You
Oh
have
yeah.
a I'll pick one thing because there were a
Mm.
lot of things, but this was the biggest thing where the entire comic of Bittersweet Candy Bowl, David has been pushing for Paulo and Daisy to get together. He did it on Silver Shore. He did it after Daisy and Abby broke up. He had done it a few other times, and now all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, he's trying to push Paulo and James together. Just it's like what happened to this other girl that you
Huh.
were constantly trying to get Paulo with, especially now that Abby is completely out of the picture, uh, by Daisy's own design. Um, why would you just turn around inexplicably and be like, oh, now I'm gonna do it this way? Well,
No.
I think it's just because that's the most dramatic thing that could happen at the moment, and Teshi didn't have enough time to really flesh out that chapter properly. Uh,
Oh, that's fucking gay.
but it's just one of those things, right?
Yeah.
It is important to sit down and show like everything that had been established to
No, yeah.
really
Like
make the point. Like if I was to make a video about like if I wrote a video saying, okay, this is what's wrong with Abby, I would probably do it in a similar way.
no,
Um,
but no. Okay, so like that's not the problem. The problem isn't like going on the deep dive, because like I said before, like that's what you have to do in order to explain away why a character is doing a thing. It's one of the biggest problems of BCB. My problem, I'm not even saying that this is necessarily a big problem. I'm just saying that it kind of it gets too formulaic, so to speak. Like if we were like Abby did this, Abby did that, and Abby did this, and that's why this happened. Like it gets too far away from, and that's why this happened. Like it is, and I'm not saying that it's not worth bringing up, because it is, but you have to really it's the carrot and the stick, right? Like you got to lead them in to what the thing is, the ultimate point that you're trying to make, and you kind of have to, because the problem that I'm kind of seeing is just more that it's not even that it's taking too long to get to the point. It's that it feels like it's going through 5 different points before getting to the first point, if that makes sense.
But you kind of have to, in my
You
opinion. Like,
kind
it's
of,
not that
in a
big of a deal.
sense, but yeah,
It
yeah.
is important to bring the receipts, especially if you're gonna like.
No,
Okay,
exactly.
so this
That's
is
not what I'm saying. I'm saying that
yeah.
yeah, you do have to do, but I'm just saying that and it's not even necessarily a fault of the writer, but it's just a little thing.
This is kind of a like sort of an outside this just a general criticizing this comic perspective, especially if you're in the official group, especially someone that's a mod. You, like trying to criticize this comic is a minefield because they take any criticism as you being a full-on hater and you want the Teshi to die and you're gonna burn down their house. Uh, so you have to like be really careful about how you do it, and I think this is as well. But like I said, this is literally how I would have done it. So you have
Mm.
to be careful about how you criticize the comic. Like you have to be you have to say it in a certain way, right? Um, because
Right.
this is not her criticizing. This is feels less of her criticizing the character and more criticizing the writing of the character and the comic, basically. Like you could sit down and say,
Yeah.
okay, and this is where Abby messed up as, you know, like him as a person, as if you were a real person. But that's not what this is. This is, you know, this is an objective, or this is someone saying this is objectively what is wrong with the writing here, which is always dangerous. Hey, what's the diagnosis on Abby going? Hey, announcing, Abby is. We're almost to the assassination part, but we've been live for 3 hours and 48 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. We will be back 2 weeks from now. How about that?
We
To
will. Oh,
yeah, because next week's regular videos, it's okay to criticize male characters. Well,
yeah.
that's not the point. That's not my point, though, right?
But
Um,
that is true.
no, like yeah, I no, I get it. There
Criticize
and
any
this
character.
could go for a larger there is a larger discussion to be had about how male versus female characters are treated in this comic, and that kind of
Yeah.
further goes to a discussion about the divide in the community. But that is for a whole another thing, and that making a video like that, which I have thought of how I would make a video like that, that would be very much kicking the hornet's nest. But it would also be saying something that I think everybody already thinks, and so there's that. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. I I appreciate. I'm sorry. I should have made it a little bit more clear about when we were gonna start.
No,
Or
okay, I messed. That was on me. I also like overslept. I've been very tired.
you've been a tired, yeah. Well, hopefully things go a bit better. I mean, I appreciate you showing up. I know you've been a busy bee recently, so
Thank you.
it's good to have you come out. You were the only person because I was gonna make this into a video, and I
Uh,
got to like page one, and I was like, this is just an insane amount of pages to adapt into a video, and I figured that it would be better to do it as a stream and then get you on board, since a lot of this stuff I figured you had already said, and as it turns out, yeah, this is stuff you've been saying for years and have been ostracized for it, unfortunately.
oh, I don't do. That's why I don't pay attention. I don't have a canon. I don't. I'm not in official channels. Bitch, you got. If you want to, I'm free to hate on you. You want to hit on me, you gotta come to me. I don't give a shit.
Right. Well, I'm gonna end stream now. Thank you guys for showing up. We got some videos coming out later next week, and
Bye bye.
yeah, goodbye.